What's up? Hello, hello. I don't. I assume everyone can hear me. I needed to mess around with my audio settings a little bit, so y'all let me know if it sounds good or not. I don't want it to be funky. I need a minute before I can start listening back on it myself. All right. So yeah, we're doing new player tournament today. It's been a minute. I missed last week. I had family come into town, so I didn't get the opportunity to cast the games like I normally do. So I'm really excited to be back around. Welcome, welcome, and we're gonna jump into it. I need to make sure that they drop new maps and everything apparently, so that's really cool. We love to see our map community actually getting stuff out at a reasonable pace. I don't know what CA is up to, but it is what it is. At least someone's on the ball. I'm gonna actually jump in here and go see what's what. Or actually, I'm gonna restart my game. Never mind. Okay. Now we've actually got the map pack activated. What's everyone been up to? It's been a busy week. There's been a lot of shit going on in the real world, so hope everybody's doing okay. You know, be sure to take care of yourself, folks. It's rough out here. Okay. So what are the new maps? Lustrian Narrows. I know this is one of them. Uh, this looks new. Zedri. I don't recognize that one. Also, I'm gonna go take a look at the. I haven't actually looked at the description of the tournament yet, so I don't even know if we're doing the new maps. Dried Floodplain, Proving Ground, Decrepit Moor, Dusted Steps, and Bordello Landing. So pretty solid all around maps right now. Nothing too fancy in that regard. But I'm gonna go take a just real quick. I'm gonna go take a look at the one of the new maps. I just want to kind of get a feel for it. Where are we at? Yeah, we'll do this. Perfect. I just want to see what it looks like. That way I'm not floundering for it when we're actually in game. All right. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty basic. Not like the most super highly detailed map in the world, but it's got good bones. I like it. You got like a little position here that you can set up some like gun crews in. You can fire out and like control the open spaces here. Set up some halberds to like defend the flank on them. That'd be pretty nice. You got some good stuff here. Each side has it's pretty well mirrored also. It's not unbalanced looking for one side or the other, it seems, which I really appreciate. So I think it said Hitman Hippo made this one,
You have been
which is really nice. So hell yeah. I'll take a look at some of the other ones later. I'm talking right now with some of our players. I just want to get a game going for us. What the hell's the password? Oh, Lamau. Let's get away from here so everybody can build their armies in peace. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Ready to watch some scraps and stuff? I agree, man. Gildaric? Okay, little old Brian. Let's see it then. Welcome, everybody. Good to see y'all. It's been a minute since I've cast, so I'm probably going to be a little rusty. I'm trying to scrape my brain back into the head bowl, I guess. I don't really know what to call it. You know, I've been hanging out with family for the last week. Haven't really even like touched a computer in that time. It's good to take breaks, so need to readjust a little bit though. What do y'all think of the new maps that have come out? I've just taken a peek at one of them. I'm really curious to hear what everybody's got to say about them, because I mean, from what I've seen, watching a little bit of Turin's SFT tournament from yesterday, they look pretty good. I'm impressed with the consistency of the community maps. I just wish that CA could get the ball rolling on giving us something a little bit more like meaty. You know, because they put out their little map pack. They touched up some of the community maps, I know, but it was really only like 4 of them. Really like to see them get like 5 or 6 more in, have them on a nice rotation for ladder, because I'm really tired of playing on Battle for Itza and Black Ark, and then there's one other one. Which one is it? Gates of Ekrond. Those are like the 3 maps on ranked ladder that are just constant. Every single map. I think I've played more games on those 3 combined than any of the other ones that they've got out, which is very strange. Alright. Ash Twist. They're going to be our 2 guys. They're setting up their armies right now. Let me go take a peek at the... let's go on a little journey. What's been going on since I've been gone? Saw that Alexander Nuts is back. He was playing yesterday. He took a little bit of a break. I know that he's doing his own thing. So that's kind of nice to see somebody returning. It's been a bit of a downtime, a down period for a lot of people with Total War. You know, the DLCs and updates can be few and far between. It's been how long since our last one, even? When did we get Thrones of Decay, even? April 30th? Damn, yeah. 6 months is a long time. Or 4 months, I should say. It's probably going to be like, it's probably going to be up on 6 months by the time the next DLC comes out, so kind of following the typical pattern, but that is just a while to leave people kind of waiting for new stuff. So you see people drift in and out as they come, but it's good to see Alexander back. He's a really good player. I love playing against him. What else has been happening? I know out of Region 1 yesterday, so he's up here. Lots of people with like 4+ wins now. Tim the Wilder is lurking in the shadows as always. Definitely probably the best player out there right now. Boss Toss. I haven't seen Boss Toss around as much. Probably also taking a bit of a break. And then, yeah, just lots of people down here coming in, chilling, playing some games. Dipping in and out as they come in. Yeah, no, I don't want to open the Windows Store. I don't know, guys. I'm just curious what's going to end up happening with the meta with the new DLC coming out. Because I always come back to thinking about it as I'm falling asleep. And I feel like Ogre Kingdoms probably aren't going to get a whole lot of movement. I just don't see whatever they do end up getting as being anything that game-changing for their general pace. And I feel like Corn is definitely going to rise, as well as Greenskins. But Ogre Kingdoms are probably going to continue to be kind of gamey. That's just kind of the way that they're set up to be played. But alright, let's swap back over. We got our guys jumping into this game here. So, I think it was, oh my god, look at this. We've got Wulfric the Wanderer, we've got the ROR Mammoth. God, I don't even remember what this thing's called. What the hell is it? The, I guess we'll just find out. What better way than to just take a look at it. So, Twist and Ash are here. Ash is on Norska, Twist is on High Elves. We'll see who's going to be dragging a dub out here for their faction. You know, I mean, Wulfric always pretty solid. We've got a Death Shaman here. Where's the damn Mammoth? There it is. The Soul Crusher, that is what it's called. Look at it. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's got little, roomy little eyes. Look at those. Chilly. Alright. Let's go take a look at the High Elves here. We've got a Flamespire Phoenix with Althari and the Grim in the sky. We've got Lothern Seaguard. Tons of Lothern Seaguard. Always a pretty good choice against the Norskins. You know, these guys just have really good defensive stats, and the shooting, obviously there's not a ton of armor on the Norska roster, so they're going to get some good damage if they can stay online. Might be a little bit easier said than done, but, you know, as I said, Lothern Seaguard can at least hold up until some reinforcements come out to help them. We got 1 silver in here, too, so pretty compact army for both sides. I mean, only 9 units in total for each of our players respectively. Wulfric's gonna feast with Seafang here. Man, you know, Burning Head would be great too. You know, Burning Head on missile lines is really good. Very disruptive, obviously. Your opponent's got to move and stop shooting for at least a minute when you've got that rolling through, and then you can usually follow up while all of those missile units are running around with it. Deathcaster with Buna and Spirit Leech instead. Not 100% sure what the plan is going to be for dealing with old Eltharion up here. Because he's going to be pretty much uncontested flying around up here in the sky. Especially with the Flamespire Phoenix to back up. I do really love the addition of the Flamespire Phoenix, obviously. Lots of fire damage and, you know, magical attacks is also really nice. There's a lot of physical resist on the Norscan roster. You know, Skinwolves and Skinwolf Werekin and stuff like that. Obviously weak to fire, and also have a little bit of Phys Res that's going to get negated by the Phoenix here. Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is going to be creeping up to the side here. It's going to be looking to get into a position, probably just to control the #1 objective here. You can probably set it up to cover the #2 as well. But if you do, you probably want to move it a little bit more out on this side. Then you really only need a couple of units to... Just need one to, like, block this angle off, and one in front. You can do that with some Lotherns, maybe an Illyrian Reaver or something like that. Soul Crusher taking a little damage in the early going here. Nothing catastrophic, obviously. Just a couple of shots from the Bolt Thrower, which does miss on the way in. Which is, you know, I'm sure the Norskins are appreciating that fact. And a really nice Soul Quench. I completely missed that. How often do you see this thing? But a really good cast down the side of the unit here. Nails the Iceborne Marauders, who are getting taken to task right now by the archer line. Oh man, and we got that's a really good dive by Twist here, getting on top of the Mammoth with both of the with the character and the SE here. We do have Wulfric moving into reinforce. He's definitely going to be able to put a little bit of a beat down on Eltharion the Grim if he gets in the right position, but he actually casts Hunter of Champions and then focuses in on the Flamespire Phoenix, which is getting absolutely nailed right now. Oh my goodness, down to about half health. Just a couple of good attacks in there was all it really needed, and Soul Crusher does need to get back online and help out Wulfric here, because Eltharion, you know, he is being debuffed right now with the Hunter of Champions, but still a good fighter regardless. It doesn't lower melee attack. And Wulfric, you know, does have 50 melee defense, but Tharion edges him out just a little bit in that regard. Oh man, what a sneak through. Norscan Warhounds coming up through the trees here and jump right on top of this Bolt Thrower. Taking down the super long range pressure is going to be real nice for the elves here. But they are getting really good value against these Marauders. Oh, and Marauder Champions. I just missed these guys in the opening. Very sneaky, super heavily armored infantry. Chilling here, and a really nice Sea Fang it looked like back here. We got the Lothern Sea Guard here getting hit, as well as this other unit. That's pretty perfect cast for what Wulfric wants to do with that. Just clear out ranged units and do a bunch of damage to them. Really nice rear charge with the Norscan Warhounds as well. And it's just getting wild out here, man. We've got Illyrian Reavers charging into the rear of the Norscan Warhounds here, who are backing up the Soul Crusher, who's rampaging through this unit of Lothern Sea Guard right now. Some Marauder Champions with great weapons, man. They're running in. They're going to be getting on top of these Illyrian Reavers and the Lothern Sea Guard, who are broken. They tear routed, and then, you know, as with the tabletop version of the game, if your unit terror routes, it's pretty much dead. I kind of noticed that as of late, since the patch where they changed the way that units collide with routing units and get attacks in, if you get a terror route, you can just follow up and immediately break leadership more often than not. Wulfric's in trouble here. You know, this is not a very great position for him to be in. He does not have any access to healing, obviously. Eltharion the Grim and the Fireborn are rolling in here. Great catch by Twist. Completely surrounding Wulfric here. He's probably going to be going down. He does have 1,700 value, so he's pretty much paid for himself. I don't think he had anything too crazy in the kit. No, just, it's rare that you see Sword of Torgald, but, you know, that is a 200 gold piece. So I guess he's just about paid for himself, which isn't too bad. Really nice Fate of Buna there, man. Hitting the Fireborn and really nailing those guys is going to be crucial for the pace of engagements for the Norscan forces here, man. They've got a lot of units spread out across the battlefield here. We've got a Marauder off on the number 3. Very comfortably holding that. We've got some Fimir great weapons coming in. Are they going to be able to save the Deathcaster here? Flamespire Phoenix is all over that Deathcaster, but it does reroute to go after the Fimir. And we're going to have to see how these guys do. They're in a pretty bad fight right now. If they had a matchup against any one of these units, then they would be doing pretty good right now, but against Eltharion, the Flamespire, and the Fireborn, that triple team's going to start getting pretty unmanageable for them probably, but There are some Marauder champions pushing through now. The Fireborn do rout. Maybe this is where the Fimir can kind of rally on top of these champions and stay nice and healthy while they push off the rest of these Elven forces, man, and the fucking Soul Crusher back here. 1,800 value. We gotta give this big old mammoth its time in the sun. Down to about 4,800 HP, but tons of room to keep doing damage. Beast of Tashnar, Norscan Ice Wolves charging into Talon's Torquilita here. Absolutely rolling these guys. Poor old archers, man. Spearmen also suffering pretty horribly. And Soul Crusher jumping in to get back here might be able to tear out all three of these units in the right circumstance, but looks like the Norskins are going to pull out with the Wolves. They're going to go after the remainder of this Lothern Seaguard unit, and Ashe has a pretty dominant value lead here. Killing some Silverin Guard that have tattered Silverin Guard unit. Looks like they did get into some combat earlier. They moved over to fight these Marauders. But Ashe doing a really good job of collapsing on their rear with a much cheaper unit. Definitely doing some really nice damage there. But Eltharion stays alive here, man. Standing tall in the face of all of these ravening hordes of the Norskins. Does manage to break the Death Sorcerer again.
I knew
and
it.
Does look like Twist is going to call it there. Was probably going to be pretty difficult to get back into this game. Very pushed back here. And despite having a healthy Lord and, you know, hybrid, you know, caster deal here with Eltharion, kind of doesn't work if you don't have any infantry units on the ground. Really well played, though. Definitely needed to do a little bit more to protect the Bolt Thrower. That can be a huge game changer. If it stayed online, it would have kept doing consistent damage to the Soul Crusher over time. Definitely been able to get some nice hits in there. Decent value across the board for the Norskins. These Marauder champions with the great weapons. I don't know how I missed them in the opener, but they were pretty great. Marauder champions, not so much. Icewind Marauders, they didn't do too hot, but really good hound pressure. Norscan Ice Wolf play. The Fimir came in, they got some kills on the Fireborn, and they were looking okay there in the middle. They were a little low on health, about down to half, but they had plenty of room to work with. The Fimir are actually underrated, in my opinion. Since they got their buffs, they got cheaper, and they also got a little bit more melee stats. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that was the change they got, which is really nice to see. They've always been a personal favorite of mine. Don't look under the mammoth's tail. Worst mistake of my life. What's under the mammoth's tail, bro? I gotta know now. Is there some forbidden CA magic going on? Yeah, we'll just cram in some... Yeah. There we go. Wait. Oh, whoops, I'm not skirmishing. There we go. I'm so curious as to what you're talking about, man. I'm not afraid of being scarred for life. We've had the internet for like what, 30 years now. I think everybody's seen it all at this point. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, buddy got some cuts on him. But you know, he's got some extra large stitches there. Very very kind of the Chaos folk to look after their big boy here. But there we go. little NSFW content for you
You have been
before we get back
vested.
to
There is only
casting some games. I'm gonna jump out here. I'm gonna go find some stuff for us to take a look at. Give me just a sec, guys. Alright, I'm back. Everybody's still playing matches right now. So, as soon as we've got some replays or another round to check out, we'll jump in there and we'll just get into it. But as of right now, the only games that are over are Bongo and Greenskin. We've got Ash and Twist, which is what we just watched. Pretty solid match. If there's one thing that I could suggest to you, Twist, I don't really know. I think maybe just making sure that bolt thrower stays up, and then keeping the missile line much more focused on taking down the Soul Crusher once it starts moving in. It's a little easier said than done because the Norskins are so good at swarming. So, I don't know. Maybe just using Eltharion and the Phoenix just to protect against the Mammoth dive is the way to go about it. And then you use the archers and everything that are not shut down to peel for the other ranged units. And then maybe after that they can help focus down the Soul Crusher if it's still alive. Because having the Fireborn and the two SEs should be enough to deal with that big thing. It's a little tricky though, because it soaks up so much attention, but you really do have to deal with those mammoths. They're pretty dangerous. They've got some crazy collision attacks and overall disruption that they can do. Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry. I had to disappear. I'm trying to be mindful not to slurp my coffee into y'all's eardrums. I'm hot and cold about how I feel about people eating on streams. So, trying not to inflict it upon y'all. Let's check out some of the let's keep checking out some of the maps. Flip y'all back over. So can anybody actually tell me what maps have come out in this most recent community patch? Because I don't actually know what all the new maps are. There are some that are in here already that I literally have just never played on. So I don't want to spend all my time looking through that. So the CA ones we've got. I know that these are all recent. Twilight Forest is mad underrated. One of the coolest looking maps, in my opinion. Temple of Usirian. I think this is one I just haven't played on. But you know what? I'm probably gonna host my own tournament sometime in the middle of the week. Maybe on Wednesday or something. And maybe I'll do one where we've got like a couple of the new maps for the finals, but then some of these other ones we're just going deep on. Like I would love to see an Urgut's Stomping Grounds match. This one's got a pretty cool set of objectives on it. Just do some of the less well-known maps. Where's the where is it? I just saw a new one for sure. Now I've already lost it in the mix here. It's not Proving Grounds. Oh my god. Opponent messed up scoring. Says -1 for me. Let's go take a look at that. Whoa, how does that happen? What the fuck? I didn't know you could enter negative numbers in. Brian, did you win that match, or what's going on with that? I'm not 100% sure what you're trying to say. Should it just be 0, or should you have the win and your opponent has the loss? Oh, we got some, here we go. People are dropping some replays now. So give me a sec. I'm going to drop this in here, and we can maybe jump into this one. Well, it depends on how the rounds are looking. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Good to see y'all here. It's good to be back. Don't forget to take breaks from gaming. Go see y'all's family. So, I mean, my family came to see me, but, you know. Go see your family or your found family or just the people you're close to in your life and spend some time with them every now and then. It's good for your mental health. I'm definitely feeling a lot better after having a prolonged period of human contact. You know. I think it's been rough on everybody since COVID, you know. I mean, I know for me it was really disruptive for my social life. You know, I used to hang out with people from my work all the time or, you know, just old friends, but just kind of lost touch over the course of everything happening. So, Lustrian Narrows I know is good. Oh, Pit of the Everchosen. This is one of the new ones. This is what I was looking for. Yeah, okay. I remember this one from Turin's stream yesterday. This map is going to be wild as hell. I mean, look at all the deploy zones. They're all over the map. There's only really one secure spawn point. And you can actually sandwich your opponent coming out of their spawns too, man. Wow, okay. There's going to be some wild counterplay for this. I mean, I can already see how people are scheming up. If someone, like, brings something out of this Vanguard, or out of this spawn zone, just summon, like, 2 cheap cav units to, like, sandwich infantry or whatever, or just ranged units to just walk out. Once they get out of these trees here and they get up on point, you can just summon some missile units to just walk right up in behind them and gun them down while they're holding here. It's going to be some cool strategic considerations to go through on this one. These are some sweaty-ass spawn points, man. I do suppose that you can deploy on the back edge of this, and you can stay fairly safe from missiles, but, I need to know if this is a Vanguard zone. Like, if all of the outside here is like a Vanguard zone, that's going to be really strong for some factions. But somehow I don't think it is. Doesn't seem like the deployment zone lines are set up for that. But maybe we need to jump out and actually put some Vanguard units in to test that out. All right, we might do that. Let me take a look at what's going on with the bracket. All right, everybody's done, so we're gonna do the next tournament round. Then we'll do some of these other experiments that I'm scheming up here. I lost should be 0. Okay. I'm not 100% sure who's adminning this, but Dustman or one of the RTK folks. Okay, yeah, DM JP. I'll let him know too. One sec. Alright, Gil. I'll let someone know, but actually, I think you'll be okay. I think that the -1 is basically just performative. I don't think it actually will make any kind of big difference, because you still show as just at 0 in the Swiss points. So you should be alright, but, you know, I'll be sure also, myself, to keep an eye on that for future rounds, just in case there's any problems resulting from that. Alright. I'm gonna try and jump in some of these matches. I'm just gonna be going with first come first serve. Whichever ones have a spectator slot open for me, I'm just gonna be jumping into. Boop. Alright. So it's gonna be Fabrosi. I don't know who they're playing. Somebody, presumably, right? I mean, come on, guys. We got them. They've dropped a replay for us. The Grudge Goose. Great name. Playing Dowie, who would have thought? Hell yes. Alright, so we've got Dowie and Vampire Coast matchup. That's going to be really fun. There's a long history in this particular matchup. You know, Vampire Coast has gone through some cycles where they've alternately been good against Dowie and then also just utter garbage. Because, you know, dwarves have a lot of really cheap bow units. Also shielded bow units, which are really scary for Vampire Coast, because they just absolutely get shredded by good missile fire. Although, now I imagine that Sirens and Mournguls, as well as, I think Animated Hulks would probably do okay in the right circumstance, but there's been quite a few changes for the Vampire Coast, how they work, and, you know, they got cheaper units, they've got a little bit better shooting than they did back in the Warhammer 2 days. I think that maybe they've got a little bit more teeth there. It's probably not nearly as losing as it used to be, at least, but it's been a while since I've seen this one. We're gonna have to check it out here. Let's actually go look at the, I'm gonna go look at the current matchup statistics. Let's go take a little look. What's up with the Vampire Coast these days? Are they beating Dowie? Oh, it's super even. Wow. There's been quite a few games played. 27 games, and it's 13-14. With a very narrow edge for the Dowie. Vampire Coast wrecking Skaven. Not super surprising. Skaven have bad leadership, and then just all of your zombies having fear on them against those little ratkin. I can see how they probably just wouldn't hold up very well there. Yeah, okay. Cool stuff. I'm going to keep y'all there. I'm going to take a look at the armies. They're almost done picking, too, so we're going to be jumping in here in just a second. It's going to be it's going to be a match. Interesting. Alright guys, we'll be kicking it off in just a sec. I'll flop y'all back over in a minute. Let's just, let's go back to talking about the future meta when the new stuff comes out. Which I presume is going to be in, like, October. Like, late October, maybe November, December. Hopefully sooner than later, at least. But, we'll have to see about that. Ogre Kingdoms, I'm talking about them already a little bit. Khorne's probably going to get a big boost when they get their Beastmen infantry variant, Khorngors. Khorngors by themselves will just make Khorne better. Honestly, probably regardless of what they are at the end of the day. Like, if they're a Shock Halberd, that would be perfect. That's kind of what Khorne needs. But even if they are a dual weapon variant with no AP, they're probably still gonna give you a good boost, because the problem with the Khorne dual weapons is that they're all a little lackluster. Like the dual weapon Marauders struggle at times because they're insanely low armor. They're really not that insanely fast for an infantry unit. And, I don't know. The Warrior and Chosen dual weapons are very niche. They can certainly do some good work, but they have to be in the right circumstance. Alright. So, Proving Grounds, Dowie versus Vampire Coast. Let's kick it off. We've got Iron Drake action showing up for a change. Not a dwarf unit that you see terribly often. I do see them get chosen and brought out a little bit more in the most recent patch, which is fun. You ideally want every unit to at least have some kind of application to them. So we're going to go over the Vampire Coast army first. We've got a Fleet Admiral with the Black Periapt. We've got Invo and Drowned Dead. Pretty solid options. Opal Amulet as well for the the damage resistance, which you can never go wrong with. I mean, it's on a 60-second cooldown, and it's 22 seconds with 20% ward save any day, all day. Pretty please. Lamprey's Revenger out here. We got a couple of animated Hulks, which I do like. They're gonna definitely help out the front line or to sweep for the deck gunners and gunnery mob handguns. And I do like mixing in these guys. They've got really good range, and I mean, obviously the AP is nice against the Dowie. But it just gives the dwarves something else that they really do have to deal with, you know. Dowie warriors have silver shields, but that missile fire is going to get through and do a lot of damage when it does hit. We have a bolt thrower. Bolt throwers are incredibly punishing for the ranged play that Vampire Coast has, especially deck gunners. Deck gunners just don't have as good of range. And, I mean, bolt throwers are just crazy right now. I mean, they've got 8 models. They do tons of anti-large damage, but even without the anti-large bonus, they still hit pretty painfully. And some factions really can struggle to shut them down, but Vampire Coast might have an easier time of it than others. They do have some flyers, obviously. Fellbats can do a pretty good job of shutting these guys down, too. It's also worth noting that, you know, you might think that the Dowie artillery crews are going to be super heavily armored like the rest of the roster is for the most part, but they've only got 40, so they're pretty easy to kill at times. Iron Drakes and the big death blob moving up to the middle. We do have Thane and Felix here to support a standard Dowie Lord. Long-drawing Slayer Pirates, obviously, going for a pretty standard Dowie mid-hold here. While the side objective is a bunch of Rangers, some Dwarf Warriors, and a Miner here. Just a standard one without the blasting charges. Which is a pretty good call, you know. They're worth having, like, one of. They can hold for quite a while with the good leadership. And, you know, give the Rangers an opportunity to get some good shooting in. The forces of the undead are going to be creeping up here. We've got some lag. That's very unfortunate, but maybe it's going to even out here. Not 100 on that, but we'll have to see. Hopefully it's okay. Handguns, deckhand mob, the Vampire Fleet Admiral. Probably going to be taking the number 1. The number 2 is going to take some time to work down. You know, the Dowie actually have a wider army than the undead do right now. So they're definitely going to be able to kind of pick and choose the ground that they hold here. The undead definitely do need to grab the number 1 and hold that. They can probably scoot a couple of deckhand mobs up into the trees just to mess with any reinforcements that are coming out that the Dowie would like to try and contest the number 1 with. You really don't want a gun line to form up in these woods and just have free access to shooting all your stuff out here. Where are the Shade Wraith Gunners and the handguns going to go to get damage in? They are retreating right now. Fabrosi is playing very coy with the artillery that's on the field. Not giving them an opportunity to get any free value is going to be very important. Let's see how accurate these things are. They're pretty good at sniping out foot characters. Bolt throwers you should never ever sleep on. They're pretty intense, like I've been saying. We're gonna get a volley. Doesn't look like we're gonna get a volley from the bolt thrower there. Probably gonna be waiting for an opportunity to shoot at the Shade Wraith Gunners and Deck Gunners once they are forced to move up, because you can see here the 450, 340 range on these guys. Definitely giving some food for thought for the Shade Wraith Gunners, who are pretty heavily outranged right now. I mean, a full 100 on the firing arc is pretty intense. Iron Drake's moving up. You know, they've got pretty short range, but they're going to do some really good work clearing out the deckhand mobs. And that usually is the way that Vampire Coast slowly overwhelms the Dowie, is by moving up crappy zombies and just occupying everything before bringing in the Morn Ghouls and other tools. But no Mourngulls yet. We've just got the, we've got Bomber Bats here, and we've got the Salt Lord Scuttlers over here, too. So, we'll see where they're going to end up going. They're going to have a hard time getting in, though. There is a lot of shooting here. Granted, a lot of it is on, the far side of the objective, away from the main engagement, so to speak. Might be worth moving a couple of these Rangers over and lining them up in the backfield here in this little alleyway. Although I guess keeping them near the forest is a little bit tricky because there are going to be a lot of undead moving up through here, potentially. And you would really like to be able to shoot at the zombies before they can get in, obviously. Good volleys from the Rangers over here. The bomber mobs, they're getting shot up a little bit, or the bomber bats getting pushed off a little bit. Bolt throwers getting a little damage in on those deck gunners there. They're suffering a little bit. Not loving the lag, but we'll push through here. I mean, it's going. I'm not sure who's unstable here, but definitely not me. Went through to fix up my internet connection. It should be super solid now. Deck Gunner fire coming in. It's hitting the Long Drawing Slayers, which is getting some nice value for the undead forces, and it is pretty even right now, but this bolt throwers are going to really rack up value a lot quicker hitting these deck gunners. You can see how accurate they are. I mean, they're literally just taking out one or two models with every one of those bolts. And having 8 models now and getting through all these deck gunners at the pace they're at, they're going to be able to turn their attention over to the Shade Wraith gunners. And even though these guys have the physical resist and are ethereal, the weapon strength is probably going to be high enough to still do really good work against them. Bomber Bats still looking for a way in, looking for an opportunity, but the Rangers really are going to just completely lock them out here. You could probably scoot up these Rangers and get super focus fire in on these Bats. Do some really nice work against them, but they're getting a good toss in here. Doing a little bit of damage. They've got good explosive armor-piercing damage. You can see how much work they put in with just that one volley there. But gotta get them out now. Get them out, just loop them around probably and get them a heal. Salt Lord Scuttlers, oh no, they're getting bathed in fire from these Iron Drakes here. Oh my god. That is devastating. Look how much damage they took. Definitely need a heal on these guys. This is a very expensive unit. These are like 700-800 gold, I think. And losing them here would not be a winning position for the undead forces. They really do need something that's going to be able to clear out the Dowey infantry. Because obviously zombies aren't going to be able to do it. Deck gunners could, but they're getting focused down pretty hard by the bolt throwers. And the bolt thrower crews are actually dropping the artillery pieces now and running away from the summoned deckhand mob. Which, I mean, fair enough. They don't really have anything to support them other than these Bugman's Rangers. They're going to do some good work shooting these guys off. So that is a pretty good call, just keeping those guys extra safe. Not giving any room for the Vampire Coast forces here to get any free value off of that crew. Good focus fire coming in on the Iron Drakes, man. They've gotten some good damage on the deckhand mobs here, but they're getting messed up right now. Taking huge volleys from the handgunners and the deck gunners here. I would just focus fire the Iron Drake unit here. I mean, I know you want to kill... Shooting at the hero squad here is a huge trap. Don't do that. Just make sure that you can kill these guys. That's going to be much more impactful over the long term. Oh, man. You can see, though, that they're, you know, they've killed off 2 deckhand mobs, basically. And it's going to take ages for these big HP pools to get back up to the point. But losing the Long-Drawn Slayer pirates in the process, and one Iron Drake now, starting to look a little rough for the Dowie, man. They're doing all right at shooting down the chaff, but are they going to be able to kill it all? And are they going to be able to do that before all of the Rotting Prometheans and Animated Hulks get into melee combat with the Dowie warriors? Because I would say that the faction that's going to struggle more without their ranged tools is definitely going to be Dowie. They do have a really nice ranger line here. And the Animated Hulks really don't have any armor to speak of. 30 armor is not a lot, so these Animated Hulks should probably go around the formation and get up on the other side where they can maybe draw the Rangers into some of the supporting fire that the Undead have access to. Bugman's Rangers, super heavy into the ranged firepower, but maybe not a lot that can pressure out the Vampire Coast ranged. All that's there is the Bolt Thrower, and it's been offline for quite a bit now. Does have 370 value. It did kill one Deck Gunner. The unit did crumble out the rest of the way. So that was a really good catch for these guys, and Grudge Goose is keeping it really close. I'm really curious to see how this is going to shake out with the heals that Vampire Coast have access to. We've got some deck droppers with the handguns now. Salt Lord Scuttlers did die. The other Bomber Bat died as well. Man, oh man, look at the punishment for these Animated Hulks. Oh my god. Getting absolutely massacred by the Ranger focus fire here. Really nice concave. These guys have used a bit of their ammunition for sure, but they've all paid for themselves. Yeah, they've all paid for themselves already. Rangers are 425 gold, guys. They are so cheap. And look at the work they can do against these lightly armored AP fighters here, man. They've actually taken down one of the Lamprey's Revenge as well. That's huge business. These guys theoretically are a great unit against Dowie, but personally, I find them to maybe be a little bit superfluous. I mean, the Dowie focus fire is so strong, and regeneration is nice as a heal, but it's really not all that much if you take a minute to consider it. It's only 0.1, and you get that weakness to fire. So these guys are going to take some serious heat, if no pun intended, if they get into a bad situation. I know the Dowie don't have any flaming attacks on their missiles here, but just the sheer weight of the Ranger fire is going to be enough. We've got 6 AP on each shot after all, and it's pretty juicy. So, Lamprey's Revenge going down here, and the Dowie pulling a big value lead. They just massacred this middle position here. All of those Animated Hulks and the Lamprey's Revenge there just completely crushed and into oblivion, just mulched up. The other Rotting Promethean gunnery mob here doing a little bit of work against these miners with blasting charges.
And expect us to do nothing.
But, you know, this is a pretty cheap unit. Tying up these Rotting Prometheans for this long is really nice. We do finally have some Mournguls. I really do think that the Bomber Bats really just aren't the way to go about it against Dowie. They're way too squishy to ranged fire, and what is the one thing that Dowie do best? It's shooting the absolute living hell out of everything that comes in range of them. Bugman's all doing some decent work. I mean, it's not really showing that they've done a lot of damage. They've been shooting summons, but even killing summons off can be worthwhile for your ranged units at times. Especially if it's freeing up some Iron Drakes. Oh my god, 1,000 value on these Iron Drakes. That's massive, dude. They've got a lot of ammunition left also. They've been firing very happily against all the zombie, deckhand mobs. They've shot at the Rotting Promethean. Maybe the Lamprey's Revenge were taking some fire from these Iron Drakes. They certainly were getting hammered pretty hard, so I'm curious to see, or curious to know if maybe that was what was going on as well. But they are getting focused down by the Shade Wraith Gunners. They have not been firing all game, which is, you gotta be as on point against Dowie as they are against you, especially if it's a gunline face-off. Otherwise, you end up in a situation like this where the Dowie just start out-trading you. It's a lot harder for Vampire Coast to get back into games like this than it is for the Dowie. You know, Vampire Coast is slower than the Dowie are. I mean, 23 speed versus 28 and 33. You can see that there are still some pretty decently quick infantry units available for the dwarves, but you know, these shambling zombie hordes are going to struggle a little bit more to get back into a position to get value. Excuse me, guys. So, over the course of a long game where the Dowie are up, it's going to be a lot more difficult for the Vampire Coast to find a way back into the game. And the Bugman's Rangers are being dealt with now. They're taking some pretty serious fire from the Shade Wraith Gunners, who really have not been answered very effectively. You can see the Bolt Thrower is targeting them, but this thing is struggling a bit. It really hasn't gotten a tremendous amount of value in quite a while now. They were shooting at one deck gunner, which they killed, probably firing against some of those animated hulks in the middle there, and trying to deal with the Shade Wraith Gunners now, but leaving those guys in combat, leaving them online as long as they've been online is definitely giving Fabrosi a little bit of breathing room that I really don't think you want to be allowing the Vampire Coast. But punishing these Mournguls really nicely. You saw those Slayers just coming right up out of the deploy zone, helping out the miners here. You know, not getting a lot of value out of these guys. You really have to give your Mournguls some zombie support, which is why losing all of those zombies in the early game is ending up being pretty punishing. You know, I thought maybe with the animated hulks and everything getting into combat on the middle objective there, that the Vampire Coast might be able to start getting back into the game, but really good micro and a really good job of using these Iron Drakes and Rangers and everything to focus down the Lampreys and animated hulks is giving the Dowies some serious life here. They've got a few more volleys in these Rangers here. Bugman's back here. They've been pushed off. They haven't paid for themselves, but they've done some pretty good damage against what they've been shooting at, which at the end of the day can be just as effective as actually getting your value. You can totally trade upwards with a unit 3 or 4 times over and still lose. We've got the Lord and Thane and Felix all chilling in the middle here. And I don't think it's going to be very easy going for the Vampire Coast to get rid of these heroes either. They are focus firing them right now, which I'm not 100% sold on as the go-to strategy. Do need to kill the Bugmans here. Do need to get rid of this Bolt Thrower. The Bolt Thrower is really starting to rack up some good damage now. On the Shade Wraith Gunners, it's going to take them some time to get through, but they've killed a few models, and lessening any impact that these guys can have is going to be massive. I mean, this is the way back in for Fabrosi, is keeping the shooting online here. Losing the Salt Lord Scuttlers again to the Iron Drake and Ranger Fire has got to be incredibly painful, and I think this is starting to get a little bit out of reach for Fabrosi. Dowie do pretty well against factions that can heal as long as they're up in value. And Dowie are just pretty resilient in general, so they can certainly trade even when the odds are against them. What are the Dragonback Slayers up to? They've been fighting these Rotting Prometheans here, doing some really good work, obviously, because they pretty much killed the entire unit. Oh my god. They did kill the entire unit. These are all poor dead little hermit crabs here. Poor little guys. All he wanted was the Red Lobster cheese biscuits, and look what he got for his trouble. Gunnery mobs, they're finally being compromised. Really good volley from those miners, man. Absolutely roasting these poor gunnery mobs. This might kill the rest of the unit, honestly. I mean, this volley here is going to be devastating. Oh my god. And Invo does get dropped on him, but I think it might be too little too late for this handgun unit here. And once the shooting here is offline, it's going to be game. The Fleet Admiral has really good magic over time with the Periapt, but getting chased down by the Thane, Gotrek, and Lord. It's pretty painful. So, well played to Fabrosi, and really good game by Goose. Goose did a really good job of keeping those missiles online and counter-firing the bomber bats, man. Really not worth bringing these guys against the Dowie. I can see where the idea works in theory, but they're so short range. Dowie have so many cheap missile units that really do deal with these guys quite capably. Just leave them at home, bring more and more ghouls, and, you know, maybe like a depth guard. Like, one depth guard variant would be pretty nice because they kill Slayers very effectively. You know, I see you've got the polearm. The polearms are nice. Maybe you can mix another polearm in instead. Just because they do have really good melee attack and melee defense and AP. Even though they're not going to have many targets where they can get the bonus versus large against Dowie, they can still do good work regardless. So yeah, I mean, I like most of the build here for Fabrosi. I would just not bring any of the bat variants. They're just too squishy against good ranged. Iron Drake's doing work. We got the Bolt Thrower doing work. Long Dronks got dealt with pretty capably, but these Rangers, man. And just a lot of good, solid durability here, man. So GG's. We go next. Alright, I'll be right back and we'll do a couple of the replays I got sent. Fire is so strong, and regeneration is nice as a heal, but it's really... Alright. Last of the coffee's done. And we're getting some more replays. We might not get to do a replay right now. We might be into the next stage of the bracket, actually. Because there was a decent amount of lag in that match. So yeah, just one more game to go before we do the third round. I'll probably just go through live through to finals, and then after finals I'll do as many of these replays as I can get through. I really appreciate everybody that's dropping some here, and I really do want to show them all off. Ooh, okay. We got a really close match. we got a self-described nuts to butts match between Gildaric and Masked Twist that I definitely am going to want to show off. They're talking it up real nice. Alright. Give me a sec while I drop all these. Drop all these videotapes off, you know. I gotta return some videotapes, guys. Hold on. Just a small piece of advice for y'all. Try and name your replays, because if you don't, you get auto saves, and then, you know, the auto saves tend to overwrite one another at a certain point. I don't want to miss out on y'all's stuff, and just like typing literally anything as the file name and not sending me the autosave is ideal. because sometimes they tend to overlap and I don't always catch it in time. Alright, there we go. Let's go. Oh, okay. Just a funky little dialogue window being opened up for me. Alright, guys. We're gonna wait for a sec. We're gonna let the next round kick forward, and then we'll jump into another match, and we'll do some live streaming before we get to all of y'all's replays here at the end of the tournament, and we can go through them. I'll give some tips and tricks if I see opportunities to, and other than that, we'll just enjoy them. All right, our return. We had to go. We had to go somewhere, but we're back. All right, next round probably about ready to kick off. Yeah, yeah. Let's go take a look and see if this has got a spec slot. Aha! Thank you. Okay. Don't wanna give it up. Luckily we're swapped over onto this, so we've got Greenskin. We've got Greenskin versus Twist here. on Decrepit Moor. It's going to be a pretty good match. I'm excited for this one. So they're working out builds, and then we'll get into it. We have watched Twist play already. Twist is pretty good. We'll see how we'll see if he can pull it off. Because I do believe if he wins this, he'll be in a decent position to get into the finals, I think. It's pretty close, but a win here would be huge. Probably get Twist close to being in the top 4. We'll have to see. Gonna need a few things to break his way in order to get in there. Oh, man. Any football fans in chat? NFL games are kicking off right now. I know they're going on. I've been getting a bunch of updates from my fantasy football team. Alright. It's gonna be nice to get some orc action in here, you know. Ever since Warzag got the nerf to the Bonewood staff, they've been very unfashionable, you know. But Greenskin here is definitely a man of culture to persist in playing them despite the nerfs that they got. And not to even say that they're a bad faction. They just certainly struggle with their more diverse play styles. Oh, whoops. Okay. Now we'll swap back over. Okay. I didn't mean to give the game away there. Almost ruined it for everybody. Oh, here we go. Got another replay. Someone was nice enough to send. We're gonna drop it in here for later. Tomb Kings versus Dowie game. Alright, we'll chill out here while they sort out the rest of their builds, and we'll definitely get in here. And we'll see if Twist can work their way into the top 4. They're on the outside looking in, as well as Greenskin. But if either of them can... I mean, obviously one of them has to win, right? But depending on who wins, and if they get a little bit of luck with Nautical Revan, Son of Heaven, and Ashes games, then maybe they can squeeze their way in, because the tiebreaker points are really close here for just about everybody. Alright, Twist is set and ready. We'll see how the orcs end up playing out. He's good, who's good? Twist? Because, yeah, I mean, Twist played really well in the the first game I watched just didn't quite have the right setup for dealing with the Soul Crusher Mammoth. I think got a little bit overwhelmed seeing pretty off-meta Norska build. How often do you see a Mammoth, especially as High Elves, you know? You're not really expecting it because you think, oh, you know, they might be scared of elf shooting. They're probably not going to get really aggressive with the SE picks, but ended up being perfect because the Soul Crusher just ran over the Lothern Seaguard line. I love the, God, the ambient sound in this game is so nice. It's like raining. You can actually hear the rain falling. Really, honestly, quite pleasant, despite this obviously being a creepy Sylvanian nightmare graveyard. We got a like a Lamian vampire count. I wonder if that's like the idea is that this is like a proper vampire count mausoleum here. And this is like all the undead servants that she'll be summoning out when the time comes. Got all these creepy, like, burning braziers here. They're like, almost look like scrying pools. Night Goblin War Boss is going to be the Lord choice here for the forces of the Greenskins. Got some Night Goblin fanatics, Orc Biggins, Savage Orc Error Boys, Orc Boys with spears. Very solid and dependable unit, honestly. Some Biggins back here. Kind of crazy that Biggins, you know, don't have that much better leadership than standard Orc Boys. You know, but they certainly do have a much better melee attack stat. Lots of Boar Boy Biggins in the opening. 2 of those guys on the field to just to kick it off here. Not often that you see those guys in the opener, but I do kind of like it against elves, you know. Now you can spend on stuff that might help deal with the wide army, or with Imrik, you know. I mean, Imrik's out here looking to get hog wild on the forces of the Greenskins. Lord of Dragons is here, as well as the Star Dragon's Breath. No Vuvuzela of Doom. That is a very favorite item of mine. I do think it's really strong. I know it's limited uses, but having a Elf Wa is pretty nice. Lots of Spearmen, lots of Lothern Seaguard. We've got a Life Mage, and definitely going to be getting a lot of value on that Life Mage with Imrik out here. We'll see what the Force of the Greenskins can do. We do have a River Troll Hag here. Spirit Leech, Fate of Buna. Buna's going to be really nice against the Fireborn if they come out. Although, Orc Boar Boy Biggins trade pretty well into the Fireborn, but we've actually got Phoenix Guard coming out first. I like it. I really kind of enjoy this. They're very heavily armored, and they are going to be moving up onto the #1 objective out here. Telestration tools, where the hell are they anyways? There we go. So they're going to be moving up to the #1, and that's going to be pretty safe from the missile line. The 2 air boys are back here on the home objective, and they're shooting at Imrik, but Twist with some pretty good micro. Definitely getting some nice dodge action going on there. Taking a little bit of fire now, but getting some good work against the Orc Biggins. You know, about 25% of their health. Don't know if that's, like, the best use of them right there. But, you know, not the worst idea in the world, getting that breath attack off. It's usually better to hold on to it, though, until units are extra blobbed up and they're, you know, not moving. Not that they were there, but their formation's pretty scattered, so the breath attack didn't quite hit as well as it could. Good fire coming in from Lotherns. Very slow game from the Greenskins so far. They really should ramp up the pressure here, honestly. They can definitely get in here and do some good work against the Spearmen, but gotta be careful about blobbing your units up onto High Elves. This is the opportunity where a breath attack from Imric would really do good. You get up on the side of the unit here and just go all the way down that formation and just absolutely obliterate both those units. That's where a breath attack is perfect. Lots of Squig Herds coming out. Squig Herd are going to struggle here. They don't have any really good targets to go after. If they can stack on top of the Savage Orcs here. Oh, beautiful. There we go. Twist has got it. Crushing the Savage Orcs there. These Orc Spears take a little bit of damage in return as well. Look at that. You know, getting a little bit of good work done with the breath attacks so far. I'd bank up that last one. Just get Imric landing and going after the Squig Herds, honestly, isn't a bad idea. But might even be able to land on the River Troll Hag here. There's no mass to block him in. And a much better duelist than the poor River Troll. Gotta be careful of the fermented fungi. The archers back here, though, are getting punished pretty hard, so there's not a lot to lock him out. And, man, just a unit of Lotherns, the ROR unit, no less, getting some good shots on the Biggins, who are kind of forgotten about back here. Really need to get them into the combat. Lotherns countering the Squig Herds very capably. Squig Herd are pretty cost-effective, but definitely not going alone against a unit of Lothern Sea Guard. They just have such stalwart defenses, and bonus versus large is going to really overwhelm the poor melee defense that these little guys have. So, not 100% on that summon, man. Really not 100% sold on that. But we've got a wall going down finally, but not a lot of Greenskins getting the maximum effect out of that. Biggins did a lot of damage to these Illyrian Reavers. That's really nice. They have pulled back, and the Biggins are looking to follow up and get around the flank here. Imric taking a little bit of damage, and it is really close here. This game is swinging back and forth a little bit. We do have the Greenskins with the objectives and victory tickets lead right now. But it's going to start getting a little scary for them. Their back objective is a little bit in danger right now from all of the swarming spears. The Squig Herds are very beat up. They really haven't gotten any good value out of these guys. They kind of got thrown in against counter units and have been suffering as a result. Look at the Lothern value so far. Just about paying for themselves across the table now. Spearmen doing pretty good. These guys, though, starting to get overwhelmed, and these Fanatics could get a really nice cast down the line there if they get an opportunity to. Oh, really good summon of the Fireborn. Come out, sneak out right under my nose, and get on top of the pump wagons here. These Flappas getting dumpstered right now, and Twist is starting to really take advantage of the weakness of the Greenskin forces, bringing out all those Squig Herds. I mean, that's 4 units. That's like 1,400 gold. I can't remember exactly how much Squig Herds are now. They used to be 350. I think they're 400 now. So it's like, you know, almost 1,600 gold regardless that you're summoning these guys out, and they really don't have a great target out here. You know, they'd be really good against White Lines of Trace, but against Fireborn, against Lothern Sea Guard, against Spears, not so hot. And I think you'd have been better served bringing out even more boys, just like hordes and hordes of Orc boys here, just all across the front line going crazy. Breaking into this formation was really needed to be the goal. I'm scared for Greenskin here. I don't know if there's an opportunity for him to get back into this game because even though the Lotherns are all out of ammo now, not a lot of answers to the Fireborn out on the field, and these Phoenix Guard have been going all day. Look at the kills they've got. Absolutely massacring the Greenskin forces here. These guys definitely going to get a pay raise after this. Look at that. 1,400, I think they're 1,500 in total for their costs, so I think they've paid for themselves now. These Storm Riders paying for themselves too. Or just about. I think they maybe, yeah, I think they're 850. I'm not 100% on all of the value costs. I'm usually pretty close, though. Fireborn, they're running over everything. They just flattened this Orc Biggin unit, man. Absolutely grailed those guys. They're going after the Squig Herd here, going to flatten them on the charge. And where do they go from here? Probably just right into the backfield and sweeping up the remainder of these very tattered Savage Orc Arrow Boys. And Imric back here hasn't gotten a tremendous amount of value, but hasn't really needed to. Just been slowly working down the Goblin War Boss and staying out of really bad situations. It's really all he's needed to do so far. The Life Mage also doesn't have a regrowth, just Earthblood, so that's also probably why he's as low as he is. Probably hasn't been getting a tremendous amount of healing yet. We've got Rahagra's Pride, really good choice of a unit for this matchup. They do have the Mighty Roar, which lowers the leadership and speed, so they can really follow up on a route and get some good damage done, as well as instigating one. It's pretty nice to be able to run in and use that ability, and then you can use Imric to follow up, and he can, you know, obviously cause terror routes from there. River Troll Hag being dealt with. She is getting the absolute crap kicked out of her. She's on her ass, looking to use that, you know, maybe throw that stinky fish bag in Imric's face and just flee the scene from here. Definitely not going to be able to handle him. And yeah, Fireborn, man, running over more, running over these poor Night Goblins with bows, really working them all down, man. Twist going to be advancing here with the win. Maybe going to get into the semis. We'll have to see. Definitely showing some good stuff there. Taking out Greenskin, who's a really good player themselves. Yeah, just think that the, I think the big Squig Herd summon was a little bit of an overextend. Look at that, they all got 17 kills. Very, very twinsing there. But, I do actually like the Flappas. I think, save the gold on the Squig Herds, bring in the Flappas, and give a, threat overload for the Fireborn to deal with. The Squig Herds don't really have anything to do. The Flappas definitely have a little bit more agency on the battlefield, and can definitely do some good disruption, getting side charges and going after the rears of the spearmen and such. I think bringing them out first would have been nice, and then just bringing out more Savage Orcs probably would have been the way. But really good core army here. I do really like this. The only thing is this River Troll Hag is very vulnerable to fire, and it is not uncommon to see a you know, an Imric. Imric sometimes doesn't have the Star Lance. You know, that does give him the fire damage that he can use to really push the River Troll Hag around, but she is also in danger from Sisters of Avalorn, and, you know, a Firecaster can also put down some good work on her. So, and she's also pretty expensive, so maybe just bringing a little Wawcaster. Do like the War Boss. You can just save a little money on her, probably, but she's not bad. She did get good value. She certainly wasn't a weak link in the build. And yeah, that's going to be it for this one. We're going to be going and I'm going to go see what the finals are shaking out to be. Or the semis and the finals afterwards. So Ash is definitely going to be advancing, it looks like. We've got Revan and Nautical are playing right now. We'll see how it plays out between the two of them. They are both currently undefeated. One of them will be getting in. Son of Heaven does have good tiebreakers. Oh, man. I don't know. Mast is currently in the top 4, but we'll see how long that holds. We've still got the, we've still got a couple of games that are playing out now that might change the nature of the tiebreakers. So, yeah. Welcome, welcome, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave a like. and enjoy the ride. I would say that of the players that I've seen play, I would guess that Ash, and I don't know, maybe Twist has a chance here of winning this new player showdown, because they've had some pretty clean play. You know, like I said, a rough first game, but definitely has some the micro chops and definitely some good game knowledge too, to pull out a dub here. Alright, I'm gonna go check out one of these replays. I actually see some, where are they at? Yeah, some Demons of Chaos. No, this is not from today. This is from a while back. I really need to go through and clean up the, I've got a lot of replays. Some of these are really old too, so might be time to go through and do a little bit of a purging. I don't think all of them are even going to be working super well. Because, you know, I don't know if anybody else is familiar with this, but these replays are actually just like lists of the moves that were done over the course of the game. So it's not really even like a proper replay. It just plays out the list of moves that in inputs that players did. So they can be kind of unreliable. That's why if you ever have the little exclamation point next to them, take the replay with a grain of salt. It might not be showing you what actually happened over the course of the game, because once they update it, it completely messes with everything. It's very chaotic, actually. We're going to watch this Demons of Chaos versus Norska game. Very curious to see this. You don't see Demons of Chaos too often. It's going to be nice to get an opportunity to cast these guys. They're really fun faction. We've got Marilize, Legowana here. Don't flip the don't flip the words around. Don't ruin the what's the word? Anagram. So Teamy is bringing a the Grand Prince Vomitus here with the quadruple blue horror. We've got some bloodletters, the sour guts. Sour guts are so good, man. Just absolutely incredible. An exalted bloodletter there. That's gonna be it. You know, Demons of Chaos, pretty expensive faction. They don't usually have a tremendously large army, and they're gonna be going up against some Marauder Horsemen. Four of those guys are actually 2 regular horsemen and 2 horsemasters. So bringing the blue horrors immediately paying off some dividends, because they're going to do some really good counter skirmish damage to these guys if they get a good volley off. The Cold Voider is going to be a little dangerous. Does have magical attacks and frostbite, so Grand Vomitus needs to be careful. Because, you know, he only has 60 armor, and I don't know where he's going. Don't chase these guys too hard. Those horsemen are pretty quick. You're not going to catch those guys. So, yeah, just pulling back the Lord there is a good call. You know, we got some Corn Furies. Man, Corn Furies are so hard-hitting. You know, having the Frenzy on these guys, now that they have slightly better leadership, is great. And since they nerfed the health on Furies, Furies have been in a pretty good spot, so definitely don't want to let them get shot at for free, though. Need to pull them back. Blue Horrors need to really come in here and focus fire. But, oh, they actually got a good volley off from the Cold Voider there. The Bloodletters did take a little bit of damage, but I think that's kind of worth trading the health on the Cold Voider, who... you know, is weak to fire. It's very important to consider here. Norska has a lot of fire weaknesses. These Marauder Horsemasters getting in the backfield here, going after this blue horror. These Horsemasters, though, taking some serious firepower. Look at the Look at all the fun colors. Look at all the pretty colors, man. Poor Horse Masters here getting focus fired down. This guy taking a bunch of fire, but they roasted a few of their grody little brethren here. And they're all moving up onto the point. They're really helping control this quite nicely for the forces of the Demons of Chaos. A really good C-Fang coming in here. It's going to wreck. Oh, no, this is a Burning Head, actually. Really good Burning Head. Roasts out the Exalted Bloodletters, but takes a bit of an unfortunate path. Doesn't go down and through all the blues, and just right through the middle of everything there. That's pretty painful for the forces of the Norskins here, man. They really needed a better rotation on that to maybe get them in a little bit better of a spot, but they're doing a good job of scrapping across the battlefield, and it is really close here. You know, the issue that the Demons of Chaos are going to run into is that the old Norskins have a lot of stuff on the field. They've got a lot of really good units and cost-effective, cheap units that they could summon out here. And Demons of Chaos are a very elite faction. If they can keep alive the blues and pinks and just use these bloodletters and exalted bloodletters to do the proper damage in the right places, then it'll be really nice. But another really good Burning Head. This one looks like it's going to have a little bit more effect. Wrecking the blues here. Getting through. Gonna help finish off those this regular Bloodletter unit here. Does miss these blues a little bit. The Sour Guts, man, just absolutely focus firing down all the Norskin Ice Trolls here in the middle. But they're looking like they're maybe going to get a little bit of an opportunity, but I don't know. They did just lose Wolfric back here. That's really unfortunate. Where's the Hunter of Champions? I don't know, but lying dead in some forest, just ignominiously KO'd by these little popcorn bandits, as Turin likes to call them, which I think is a pretty appropriate name. I mean, just look at these guys. They look like, they really do look like a malformed, half-popped piece of popcorn. They're just disgusting. I love horrors. They're one of the cooler enemies in the Warhammer universe. I would, man, you know what I really wish? It would have been really nice to see some more, like, demonic Tzeentchian forces from Space Marine 2, because you really had, like, the Zangors and the Chaos Space Marines. You don't really get a whole lot of horrors action in that game. They were a little lacking there. But Shrieking Skyrays in a pretty good fight against the Cold Voider, which is doing alright for itself, but it really does need a little bit of help, because Grand Vomitus is coming in real hot, going to be landing here and getting some good attacks in on the big beastie here. Really, really nice play from the demons here. Although it does say they're down in value. I wonder what's going on there. I'm not 100% sure if it's giving all due credit here. Now, there are some overextended fiends back here. I just completely missed these guys, and they're getting ripped apart by the hordes of Norskins back here. That's the Tzeentch army ability, so that's landing, doing some good work in a fucking fat Rancid Visitations. Dropped on top of the Cold Voider while Vomitus just getting in there, man. Doing some pretty good damage. Doesn't have great melee attack against a big target like this, but does also have the Cloud of Flies giving the extra melee defense, so probably, you know, a bit of a wet noodle contest right now. Neither of these guys quite have the stats to outpace the other, so it's probably going to come down to the fact that Grand Vomitus has the has more health right now. Cold Voider's really low, probably in danger of breaking here in a moment. We're going to have to see if Musaka can grind back into this. Does actually have a bit of a local advantage on the middle. The Norskin Ice Trolls did rally back. There's a lot of models left here, man. If the Norskins can rally with these trolls here, they might be able to get some work done here. They did lose the number 1. Number 3 here is definitely in danger. Demonettes coming out. They're doing some good work against these Marauder Spearmen. Probably going to chase those guys down and just massacre what's left of them. And there's really just some marauders here. Norscan Warhound's getting on the back of the Sour Guts here, though. Oh, man, missing with the Sea Fang. Very unfortunate. I'm not 100% sure if it was a dodge, per se, but regardless, it's pretty nice for the Demons of Chaos there. Maybe going to give them a chance to rally back. The Exalted Bloodletters are here. Oh, and the Fiends do a really nice job of collapsing on these Norscan trolls. Trolls overextending, man. You gotta be careful with that. They've got really low leadership. If they had maybe just pulled back, waited on some assistance from some Marauders or something, then pushing with all of that, I think it would have been much better. Because right now, Grand Vomitus is out here finishing off the Cold Voider. Once the Cold Voider goes down, Vomitus is pretty low, but definitely has, you know, maybe an opportunity to get like a Fecundity army ability or something. Get a little bit of heals. Maybe has a little bit of magic left to get the passive heal there from Children of Nurgle. We'll have to see. Killing the Fire Sorcerer is also pretty huge. Got decent value and some good kills off of that guy, but this Fiend and the Exalted Bloodletters here, you know, they're both... This Exalted Bloodletter's pretty tattered, but has quite a bit of leadership left to go. Definitely going to be a world beater against a lot of the Norscan stuff, and resummoning Wulfric solved the leadership crisis, but now there's really just not any infantry and depth to go around for the Norscans. Relying exclusively on your Skin Wolves and Horsemen and Trolls as your cap weight is really not going to pay off too hot for you. You really do need buffering for all those targets to do really well. But we're staying real close here. The Demons of Chaos are grinding back a little bit, but these Skin Wolves, they are in a pretty good fight here. This is a pretty good situation for them to be fighting against Fiends. They're not completely outnumbered. There's another unit of Skin Wolves coming in. If they can kill the Fiends and maybe kill Vomitus here. Oh no, but these guys start breaking. Oh, they got terrified, and this unit terrified as well, and then breaking on the leadership. Oh my goodness. Catastrophe. That's all I can say. That's really unlucky for the Norscans there. If the leadership had held up a little bit better, they could have probably won this fight with the Skin Wolves here. Beasts of Tashanar look like they're going to be moving up to the middle. Man, the Cold Voider rallies with 153 health. Just about pays for itself there. 1,500 does shatter, unfortunately. Demonettes here pretty much paid for themselves. These Fleshhounds have been a nuisance, man. I haven't really gotten to focus on these guys, but they've been running around getting a look at how many kills they got. 148. They've got 1,100 value. That is how you use Fleshhounds. They've been running around back here, intercepting units. They've killed off a Javelin unit. I saw them do that. They've been killing off some Marauders and stuff like that, doing exactly what they're designed to do, which is just perfect. Just great stuff. And did Vomitus get a heal? I mean, kind of looks like it. Maybe he was lucky enough to get a Fecundity there.
One of your units has been destroyed.
Chromatic Abominations moving up to the middle, and I do think the Demons of Chaos have definitely got this on lockdown now. Furies and the Demonettes are stopping Wulfric from capping. There's really not anything to speak of in terms of army value for these poor Norscans, so we're going to fast forward through the rest of this. I do believe that this one is going to be game. Really well played by the Demons of Chaos. You love to see some clean gameplay with these guys, you know. There's some really cool units in these demonic armies.
The enemy has captured one of your victory points. Take it back.
Fiends all doing really nicely. Norsca getting their last little gasp in here.
Tidings. The enemy has captured
really need
one
to
of
push
your
this. You
victory
just
points.
hold on the number 2. Gonna lose all of the objectives here. Is Maralize, but
unending glory.
a little bit too little too late, unfortunately. No luck on getting the triple cap there. Alright, guys. The semis and everything are probably going to be kicking off here. Oh, man. So, yeah, they're updating the top 4. Looks like Ash actually had to drop, so we'll be seeing who's gonna get in the top then. So without Ash in, we've got Revan. Masked Twist did make it in. We've got Nautical Sky, and it looks like Son of Heaven will be getting in place of Ash for the top 4. So that's going to be really fun. Let's see who's going to be bringing it out here. Stelios has been a staple in the new player tournaments. Definitely been improving in every one of the matches that I've been seeing him play in. Let's go get into Twist and Stelios. Alright. Alright, we're sorting out the they're sorting out the top 4 right now. So we're kind of waiting to see how that shakes out, and then we'll choose one of the semis matches to cast, and we'll move from there. I'd like to do Twist and Son of Heaven, if that's who ends up being in the top 4. I think that'll be a really good one. God. I'm gonna turn on the fan. It's getting so hot in here. It's the end of September in Michigan, and it's still like 80 degrees every day, which is crazy to me. Alright, Stelios and Pep are flipping a coin now. Pep chooses Tails, and Dustman is going to be doing the flip, so we'll see what ends up happening between the two of them, because that's going to end up determining who's in the top 4, whether it's going to be Pep or Son of Heaven. Alright. So it's going to be Son of Heaven, Mass Twist, Revan, and Nautical Sky is the established top 4 now. So now I think we're ready to kick it off for the rest of the tournament. Excuse me. And we're going to get it rolling here in just a second between our players. I'm really excited to see who wins here. Ash dropping is definitely going to make it a little more likely maybe that Mass Twist can get in here and get some dubs. We've watched a couple of their games so far today. We watched their first where they lost a pretty close one against the High Elves, and then missed the second game, but the third game they pulled out pretty convincingly against the Greenskins. So definitely a strong player. I just want to message this person. Come on, Discord, don't be like this. Why is Discord so difficult sometimes? Alright. Alright, definitely want some more high elf action, so let's ask Twist for a spec slot. Yeah, I don't know if any one of these lobbies is them or not. No, we've got another person dropping from the top 4. Rip. Well, I guess that means Pep is gonna be getting in. So they were the person that was flipping a coin with Stelios. So good for them. Very fortunate. Alright. Sorry for the slowdown, guys. We've had 2 of our top 4 drop here, so we're trying to get it all sorted out, but we'll have it done and set up here in a minute, and we'll get it back rolling for y'all to get through to the end of this one, and then we can move on to doing some Fast and Furious replay action for the maybe for like an hour. I think I do have something going on. 5 my time, which is in a couple hours. So we'll see how much we can get in that time. So Stelios and Twister here, they're going to be building their armies, and we'll be leaving them to it. I'm going to swap over here for a minute, and we can go take a little peek at the bracket. It's probably going to change. I imagine Pep is going to be in. Yeah, Pep, Revan is going to be the top of the bracket. Masked Twist and Son of Heaven here are the lower bracket before we get to finals. And we'll be seeing who's going to end up in the Duel of Fates at the end here. Just letting Dustman know that he's doing a great job as the admin. I know adminning can be kind of stressful sometimes, especially when you've got lots of people dropping, and you know you don't want everybody to be held up. But he's being very conscientious about making sure that everything's going well. So I really appreciate that. Alright. Let me make sure I'm swapped away. Okay, I can. I'm gonna go take a peek at the builds. We'll be seeing a little bit of what's going on. Ooh, yeah. So yeah, Lizardmen versus High Elves, man, is a Warhammer 2 staple. I mean, two of the release factions for Warhammer 2, and they certainly had a long pedigree of high-level matches between the two of them. Back in the day, before I really started playing, you know, you had the High Elves and the Lizardmen duking it out for the top spot a lot of the time. They were definitely two of the more high-level factions back in the day, but they've both dropped a little bit in recent times in the faction tier lists. You know, High Elves are doing down here at about 44%. You know, they struggle in quite a few matchups. You know, they lack a few tools to deal with demons very well. You know, you got Slaanesh and Tzeentch and Nurgle all being down here. And that's pretty rough. Khorne, they have a very favorable win rate against, but I think this is a little falsely inflated. I think Khorne has a pretty even matchup with High Elves. All you really need to do is bring Skull Cannons. Skull Cannons counter Fireborn and other High Elf cavalry really hard because they pick off models very consistently with the shooting that the Skull Cannon has. Can be very hazardous for the High Elves in that regard, but you know, it is pretty tough for Khorne at the same time. Any faction that has good healing and missile play is pretty good against Khorne. Oh man, Wood Elves is so rough for Khorne. Slaanesh is pretty hard. Tomb Kings used to be really favorable for Khorne, but has dropped a lot. We'll see how that changes with the new DLC when it comes out soon. Lizardmen are down here even lower than High Elves right now. It's kind of surprising. Lizardmen are really good, guys. You know, jump in and play some games with them. It's rare that you're going to be disappointed with their performance. They're a faction with a lot of variety, and sometimes I feel like that can play against a faction in a lot of ways. I mean, Warriors of Chaos are a prime example. I mean, they've got one of the most flexible and versatile rosters, and they don't get a lot of play. People can tend to bring the same old things in their builds with these guys, and I just don't know. I feel like Warriors of Chaos are just like a very good example of a faction being good in theory, and then in practicality they struggle just because you're so overwhelmed by the metagame opportunities that they offer up. It's hard to pick a lane to play them into. You know, you've got factions like Norsca that really only have one play style, and it serves them really well. Norsca's got a losing win rate right now, but, you know, if you watch someone like Boss Toss play Norsca, you can see why Norsca is still a very capable faction. You know, Vampire Coast, Dowie, they've got pretty straightforward play styles. Beastmen are kind of the same. You know, you get to the upper level factions, and really they just have, like, they have a couple of really strong builds that synergize with a lot of units on their roster, and they don't deviate too terribly often from it. But even with just those few very meta play styles, you can definitely get a lot of work done. And even going off meta from that can give you a leg up. Alright. Enough babbling. It's time to game. So I'm going to flop y'all back over before I forget, you know. It hasn't happened yet, but, you know, never say never. So, waiting for players to load, but, you know, we're out here in the wastelands, so to speak. And we'll be seeing what's going to happen in this match. You know, this is a pretty good setup for both of these factions. Lizardmen and High Elves do kind of like the maps that don't have home objectives, because they're both pretty mobile. And you can either get a nice fat, like, setup with 2 objectives being securely controlled, or you can play a more mobile play style and bounce onto objectives as your opponent, like, moves between them. So, there's a couple of different ways you can go about playing these kind of maps, and both these factions are really good at doing them in turn. Lots of archers here, lots of spearmen, and a few silver and guard mixed in. 2 silver and guard, the rest spearmen. Imric up in the sky, it looks like that's the twist special. Kind of the High Elf special, honestly. You know, High Elves really do love having their dragons out on the field. The dragons are just so damn strong. Oh, we've got the Starlance and the Vuvuzela of Doom here. Oh, yes. That's going to be really nice. Going to give the elves a bit of a buff. We've got Lord of Dragons, too. This is a pretty good ability. 22 seconds with huge debuffs to melee attack and melee defense. Definitely going to be hazardous for Mazdamundi here, who doesn't really have a lot of protection. So, Mazda with Net, Comet, Apotheosis, Ancient Sally here to pressure down High Elf Infantry. Ancient Salamander is really good against factions that have compact infantry formations. You know? Has a really nice missile attack here that's got some pretty good explosive damage, but also just a pretty strong missile in general to get in there and do some good work against those guys.
We have a victory point.
Some Saurus Spears, some Kroxigors. You know, not the biggest build for the Lizardmen here, but Chameleon Skank skirmishing a little bit against Imric, getting about 100 health off of him. Just about getting a little bit of free damage. You know, never scoff at getting damage on SEs against High Elves. Does have regrowth here, going to be focusing in on keeping Imric alive. Not a bad idea, but the Lizardmen have some pretty good tools for dealing with the infantry formations here for the High Elves. Definitely don't want to get too aggressive here as the Lizardmen, but having all these Kroxigors out early, it's going to give a pretty good option for like a flank overload and overwhelming the opponents here. We've got the Ancient Salamander, really good micro from Twist, pulling back the Spearmen here, and letting the archers here get the initial fire in on the Ancient Sally, who's going to take a nasty bit of work here, doesn't get out of here. Does start to pull back. We've got Imric rolling around out here, looking to get after the Ancient Salamander, but this is a pretty quick little unit. 75 speed, Imric's only got 80, so gonna be looking to pull back to Mazdamundi and the Chameleon Skinks, and Imric is gonna be pulling out of there. Not gonna want to stick around. Coldwind Spear Riders also coming out of the deployment zone here. Moving up, looking to get on the flank, it looks like. Oh, and the Fireborn, man. What a good call, summoning out of this hidden deployment zone. But actually does move out of the forest a little early, but maybe Stelios saw them being deployed. The Kroxigors are going to get absolutely hammered here. No, get them out of here. Run, 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 run. Oh, this is disastrous. Losing these Kroxigors here is going to hurt, man. Because the Fireborn in a perfect fight against these guys. Kroxigors are dreadful against the Fireborn. And that's 1,000 gold off the table. Oh no, that's so painful. they've gotten no value in return either. And these the Fireborn probably going to charge into the rear of that Saurus Spear unit. And High Elves looking very dominant here in the opening, really getting in there, being very aggressive, paying off huge dividends. And this Ancient Salamander missed a couple of shots so far, really not doing great. We've got the Coldwind Spear Riders getting crushed by Imric as well. That was a really nice Comet of Cassandora, though, completely obliterating those Spearmen. But the Archer core back here, very secure. We've got 2 over here supporting the Spearmen and Silverin Guards. And Chameleon Skinks and the Ancient Sally getting a little dicey there. We need the Colossedon Hunters to come over here
One of your units
and
has been
help those guys
destroyed.
out. Oh, but some good Razordon fire. Let's go. Amixon Barbs out here getting some good work done against the Fireborn. And, you know, looking to work down these Silverin Guards with the Croxagores maybe. Definitely don't want to keep chasing those Fireborn. Got to get back. Got to be on top of your micro and pull them back in here. And just make sure that these Razordons are here to counterfire those guys. Chameleon Skinks getting pretty aggressive here. Pushing up and getting some fire onto the Archers here, which isn't a bad idea. We do have a dead Saurus Spear unit here, but these guys are really healthy, and they're pushing up. They're going to start to zone out the missile line over here. Oh my god, and the Colossedon Hunters, they pop Toad Rage, huge weapon strength on these guys right now. And they are shredding Imric. Imric has got to peel out of here. Looks like he's trying to escape now. Great catch with the Colossedon Hunters, but got to get them out now. They're very vulnerable to missile fire. Pulling them back and getting some heals on them with Mazdamundi is definitely the play here. Don't want to keep chasing. Imric is about to get a regrowth, and he could sit here, and then the Archers just get free damage on this very expensive unit here. Lord of Dragons also being popped, it looked like. Not wearing off before it can do any real work, but good job of landing Imric here on top of the Spearman. That's just good micro, man. That's a great decision and really good execution. Colossedon Hunters do not need to be here. They have got to get out. They've got to get out. They've got to go somewhere else. They've got to get some value elsewhere. The, oh man. Amixon Barbs get isolated by Rahagra's Pride and the Fireborn. 2,200 on the Fireborn. They've killed a Croxagore. Now they've killed the other unit that's out on the field that can do damage to them. It's looking scary for the Force of the Lizardmen. You've got a very low and damaged Mazdamundi here fighting the Storm Riders. This is why. These guys have really good bonus versus large, and Mazdamundi does not have a lot of melee defense. So, bit of a mistake bringing Mazdamundi into this fight here. Very unsupported. These Saurus Spears are fighting pretty nicely here against the Mage and the Archers, but huge blob of very powerful, maybe not powerful, but very healthy High Elf units here. Can definitely move up onto the middle if need be, but they are holding the double cap here. The tickets not out of reach for anybody to be making plays here. So High Elves are sitting pretty now. Imric's very healthy. Colossedon Hunters are dead just about. I mean, they're so low, they're not really in a position to be able to threaten that guy anymore. They're trying to peel the Rahagra's Pride off of Mazda, who's desperately trying to survive here. I mean, 700 health, very low, and not 100% sure if he's going to be able to make it out of here, man. Oh my goodness. Mazdamundi goes down. That's going to be the end of the Lizardman Lord, and I think it's going to start looking real grim here in just a minute. Amixon Barbs trying to get a little bit of value back against the Silverins. Getting some good shots in there, getting some work done for sure. But them getting isolated and killed by the War Lions and Fireborn, really bad, and I don't know if there's going to be a way back in here now. I think, where are the Fireborn at? I guess they have kind of been dealt with, so maybe, maybe some big plays can happen here, although I don't think it's going to happen. We've got the Pakopok cohort, not cohort,
You have been bested.
being dealt with
There is
by
only
the High
defeat.
Elves here. High Elves are finally killing off those Saurus Spears. Going to be getting reinforcements up. Imric's just too healthy, and that's going to be the end of this game. Very clean play from Twist. Absolutely amazing plays with Imric. Getting out of a really bad situation and finding a chance to land on the ground and pull the Colossadon Hunters onto some spears. That's a game-winning play right there, you know? And then the value out of the Fireborn, man, was really nice too. You know, they got some really good early picks on the poor Kroxigor unit. Then they just found some Saurus Spears. They went after the Amazon Barbs and just turned the tide of that battle, man. Really good stuff. Can't ask for much more from your Lord and elite cavalry units. Hogger's Pride did nice too, and wow, the Storm Riders was 1,700 value. Probably all of that on Mazdamundi, honestly. You know, they may not have AP attacks, but you just really can't send a Lord like Mazdamundi into melee combat against those guys. So, better luck next time, Stelios. Just those few things to keep in mind. Be very careful with your aerial engagements. Air combat's kind of janky in this game, which is a little unfortunate. It'd be nice if units could like actually get attacks in as units are moving away from them. Because I think Imric probably would have died there if the Colossadon Hunters were actually able to attack units that are fleeing from them. But we'll see. CA is going to have to do something to fix that if they release a 40k game, because 40k's definitely got a lot more flyer-type units than Fantasy does, as you can imagine. Alright. So we know who one of our finalists is going to be, and we'll be seeing who's going to be the lucky number 2. I've definitely got to give some serious credit to Twist. Coming in here, first time I've ever seen them play, but man oh man. Definitely a solid player. Not invincible though, you know. Anybody can beat anybody. I'm a huge proponent of that, you know. I've seen plenty of beginner players even take games off of, you know, got people like Scrambled Egg or Nerexa. It's the beauty of Total Warhammer 3. All you need is the right build at the right time and the right decisions. Pep and Revan still playing their game. Let's what was I gonna test out here? I don't even remember now. I was gonna do something with looking at the new maps. Whatever, I completely forgot. If anybody can remember what my initial experimentation was gonna be, let me know. You're welcome, Twist. Keep it up, man. Really, really solid high elf play. Alright, so we've seen, I have seen Pit of the Everchosen, I've seen Lustry and Narrows now. Are there any more new maps? I need to just actually go look at Turin's new maps tourney from yesterday. Yeah, Oasis of Zedri is one of the new ones, so it's only 3 new maps. But I do want to jump in and see what Oasis looks like. I really love the desert maps. You know, a lot of times you get maps that are, you know, barren and deserty in a lot of games, and they're just boring, but, you know, Warhammer has so much flavor that that's rarely the case. I don't think I've seen any of the desert maps that weren't at least interesting in some regard. You know, they've all got some pretty flavorful architecture and some interesting little terrain features to like spice up the maps. So that's really nice. Kassar's Cursed Oasis is probably top 5 of all of the domination maps in the game. So yeah, this is... oh, wow. Yo. Alright. I love it. I love the, you know, like, Babylonian-inspired architecture of the Tomb Kings. It's so cool, man. I appreciate that they, everything isn't just, like, whitewashed marble. You know, there's actually some, like, color and, texture to, like, the buildings and stuff, you know? Because people really don't, you know, you see, like, all the Roman, like, inspired, like, movies and stuff where everything is just, like, marble, marble, marble. Very colorless, but the ancient world was incredibly vibrant from everything that I've read from a historical perspective. You know, they were all about that pop, you know. You can see I love the blue and the red trim. Look at the little snake guy back here. That's pretty fun. And where's that wailing skull face? Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, we got a little mummy guy on the wall back here. I'm not sure what these are on the front, like scarab beetle looking things. It's moving the camera around. I can't get any closer. That's fun. Any other fun stuff on this map? It's very creepy. I don't know what the light source is that's causing this little, like, glowing effect on these guys, but it's giving them some serious ambience, which I really appreciate. Got some cool obelisks here. This one's floating just a little bit. Just color it in there. Here we go. All right, we got it. So yeah, this okay. I think this might be my favorite of the 3 new ones. Although Pit of the Everchosen is probably going to be the most interesting to play on, just because of how different it is. So yeah, map makers, as always, great work, guys. Keep it up. Get somebody please get CA to just hire these guys so they can just keep making maps. Oh, Silver Spire. I remember playing Silver Spire when Warhammer 3 came out. High in the North. Man, there's so many bad maps here. It's so sad. I mean, like, I like maps with terrain features, but some of these are just crazy. Like, Mountains of Morn is just, like, lanes, man. Same with Silver Spire and Eye on the North. They just kind of CA really did kind of fumble the launch of this game. It could have been perfect, and it was just so far from it. But they've done a good job of listening to feedback from the community, and they've definitely updated the game since then. So not all is lost in the long term. I think they're rededicated after the Hyenas chaos, and will probably be a little bit more on point and in touch with the Total Warhammer community, because that's where their money has been, or their bread has been buttered for forever now. Are Pep and Revan in game, or should I be going to find them? I'm so confused. I think the chaos of the top 4 has kind of moved things along. Okay, they just finished. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. It's going to be Revan versus Masked Twist. Oh, two players who are relatively new. Oh my god, you love to see it. Who is going to be the first of these two new players? Or new-ish players. Twist has played a little bit in the past, but definitely coming back for the first time in a while. Who's going to be the one that advances to fighting the big boys? Not that any of the tournaments are like off limits to anybody, but I certainly know that for myself personally, playing against guys of similar skill and experience level is a lot nicer than just jumping into, you know, advanced tournaments and getting squished by by some of the best players in the community. That can definitely be a big feels bad kind of moment. Alright, let's get it, guys. So we'll get the finals done, and how long do we have? We'll probably have an hour to do replays. So I'll go in and we'll just rock it off as many replays as possible. Anything I've got left, I'll look through, and if there's some good games in there, then I'll do some casts of those over the course of the week, probably. Thank you, Twist. Oh no, don't join me in. Not over the person actually playing. Okay, well, we didn't even get a response. Lamau. I think this is our lobby. Yeah, we got Twist here. So let's do it. We're gonna wait for them to build up their armies, and then we'll be jumping in, and we'll see who's gonna be taking it home. The Darth Lord Revan or the fabled Twist. If, you know, on the topic of Revan, if anybody here has not played Knights of the Old Republic, go play that shit. That game is so good. One of the all-time, like, RPGs. KOTOR 2 is really good also. It's a little hit or miss for, you know, your Star Wars flavor from a lot of people's perspectives, but I really like it. And, yeah, they're doing a remake. I'm so curious to see how the remake ends up being, because Saber Interactive took it over, and they just released Space Marine 2, which was about as good as you can ask from a Warhammer game. They really have blown me away with how good that game is. It's not perfect, but damn, was it a fun time. Like, the campaign was really incredible. And I'm so curious to see what they do with the story for a third one, or maybe even DLC. They already said that they might be pushing out story DLC after how well the game is done. Oh, okay, so Revan is Grudge Goose. We've seen them play then, so we're not walking into this blind. Dowie versus High Elves, man, that's a good one. I mean, we're getting a War of Vengeance style matchup here. I'm always a huge fan of these factions facing off against one another, because I think they each have some interesting counterplay against the other. You know, it can end up being a bit of a build roulette, but domination mode's great because it kind of lowers the likelihood that somebody just outright wins on a build. But doesn't completely change that, so you can still kind of have scenarios where your build's stronger than the other person's. So you just have like some really nice rock paper scissors style matchups and gameplay, and really at the end of the day, who doesn't enjoy rock paper scissors, right? You don't need something stupendously insane to make your gameplay interesting, as long as you've got the basics down pat. Although, in terms of complexity, I don't know if there's many games out there that equal Total Warhammer 3. Because it is kind of staggering just how expansive this game is, dude. I mean, good God, the campaign. I mean, you've got, like, how many unique factions, technically? I mean, 50 plus, essentially. You know, and then you've got, like, for multiplayer, you've got, like, 24 factions with all these different lords and units, and it just never ends. It's so hard to be at the top end of this game, where guys like Scrambled Egg are, and, you know, like Nerexa, some of the very familiar top-level players are at, because the amount of game knowledge you need is just mind-blowing. It's always very impressive to me how good people get at this game. Sorry I've been missing some of the chats here. I'll definitely check out that Lizardman versus High Elf match against Twist. Oh, dude, you played... you played Grudge Goose as well? That's so unlucky, man. That's a rough couple of matches. You got you got both of the guys in the finals, so if you played close against Twist, then maybe next tournament's gonna be yours. I did play Republic Commando also. That game is so good. That's one of the it's almost like Space Marine in a lot of ways. You know, you've got that like elite units kind of gelling and finding their rhythm with one another kind of gameplay and story. Kind of like how Titus is trying to connect with Gadriel and Chiron over the course of Space Marine 2. Very, like, similar threads in those regards. And that game is just so solid. That's definitely a really good Star Wars game. It's kind of interesting to see, you know, Star Wars kind of like captured the public imagination a long time ago, and really hasn't let up on the kind of the monopoly hold on the sci-fi realm. But Warhammer seems to be certainly kicking into high gear. I mean, the quality of Warhammer games has just been steadily getting better over the last, like, decade or so. And it really started with Total War Warhammer 1. That game, I remember when it got announced, I was the happiest little clam imaginable. Like, I had just gotten into Warhammer around the time of the announcement for Warhammer 1. And really haven't looked back since, you know. And like I said, they've had some really good stuff coming out since then. You know, Darktide is a little take or leave, but it's been improving over time, and Vermintide has always been really solid. Vermintide 2 is still really fun to jump into and play matches in, and I'm really hoping that we get a good Total War 40k game. They're going to have to overhaul the engine or just do a new one, because I really don't think that I don't think the engine they used for these games would be good for 40k, but I can totally see 40k Total War being a huge hit. I mean, it's perfectly set up for it, honestly. I mean, that is the most Total War that Total War could ever get. I mean, the grim darkness of the future, where there is only war. Lamau, what more could you ask for? Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling about that. We've got Dowie Warrior frontline. We've got 3 Iron Drakes with the Trollhammer torpedoes here, which is a choice. I've not seen that terribly often, but it's going to be pretty good against the High Elves here. You know, you've got a lot of White Lions here, you've got Spearmen, you've got the War Lions. Those War Lions are going to take quite a pounding on the way in from the Trollhammer torpedoes. And they're going to help zone out old Eltharion here. Old Eltharion's going to have a hard time finding his way in here. Grudge Goose has got the Dragon Slayer and Dwarf Lord with Felix. So, you know, very typical stalwart Dowie box. Going to be moving up to the middle objective here. And Dowie Warriors going to the number 3. Going to be scooting along here, getting up onto point. We've got guys pushing here. And, yeah, Iron Drake's going to be rolling up there as well. These War Lions, though, got 3 of them coming in over here. Dowie are going to have to send something to help out the Dwarf Warriors, because War Lions just make absolute mincemeat of Dwarf Warriors. Like, what do you bring in here? I mean, you could just bring a Slayer in. Just one Slayer to go help these guys out, but we'll see if Twist is aware, or Goose is aware of the movement. Eltharion scouting forward a little bit, going to be moving up to the middle objective, getting in position. Spears and White Lions going to the number 1. I mean, you could probably just send the Spears over there and get the White Lions moving to the middle. Pure Main Company going for the backfield as well. Okay. This match is going to get pretty crazy here in a minute. Long John Slayer Pirates and the Hero Corps look to be moving to the number 3. Oh my god. Whoa, that Soul Quench was nasty. Is it really that strong against units like that? I would have never expected it to do that much damage to Iron Drakes, but took out 9 models and about half their health, man. Wow, okay. So, yeah, I thought the Iron Drakes are going to be a great answer to Eltharion, but Eltharion might be able to deal with these guys by himself. Knowing that, you might want to just stay out of the middle then. Like, just hold back and wait for Eltharion to work down the Iron Drakes here, and then you'll be sitting real nice into the late game. He does. Eltharion's poor Griffin there loses its tail. I mean, not literally, but got hit, like, right in the paw. Got clipped on the tail there by the cannonball, which is pretty funny. Oh, and the cursed Tree of Doom. I don't know what it is about this map. There's this tree here that just wiggling up and down here. I don't know why. But yeah. I forgot how the telestration works. I can't demonstrate it properly for you. Oh, that's going to land short, I think. Oh, went through both units. Oh my god, dude. Look how much damage it's doing. Another 9 models taken out there. Look at the value that Eltharion's getting in the early going here. That's filthy, man. Trollhammer torpedoes, they do get a nice volley off here, though, on the White Lions. They do have 30% missile resistance, though, so they may be getting hit hard, but they're not taking a truly catastrophic amount of damage. And War Lions can actually jump on top of the Long John Pirates here. Rahagar's Pride can probably lock them down here, and the other War Lions can get up on the Iron Drakes here. Eltharion definitely looking to get back here, too. Huge collapse incoming from the High Elves. Doing a really good job of forcing Goose to respond to potential pressure here. Oh, no, get the War Lions onto the Slayer Pirates, I think. Because these guys don't have anti-large. I mean, they are pretty good in combat in general with their good stats, and I don't know. I still think it would be worth it, because they do have that really nasty melee attack debuff here. Locking them out and keeping them from lessening your damage on the Iron Drakes is going to be pretty important if you get a chance. But looks like Twist is actually going for the cannon. I kind of like that, like threatening a charge here, squeaking past the Slayers here, and definitely going to be overwhelming this cannon crew. Oh, nothing back here either. It's so painful. Oh, no. Bye-bye, cannon. You love to see it. Really good pressure across the board from the High Elves here. Getting the White Lions into combat. Decently healthy. Iron Drakes very much getting shut down right now. Probably going to be able to save one of these units, but I would hazard to guess that maybe one or two of those is going to be going down. I don't know if you needed to bring both of these War Lions over here to deal with the crew. There are some Slayers back here. Grudge Goose can summon out of this deploy zone. So this might be an opportunity to trap these War Lions back here, and this cannon crew's just barely managed to hang on. Actually able to survive in there until the Slayer support arrives, which is pretty huge. Yeah, wow, great ambush call-in. Saving up just enough to get the Dragonback Slayers out. And pushing off the War Lion pressure. Where is Twist going to go from here? Got lots of opportunities and options. Puremain Company slowly moving up. Even alone, probably able to beat both these Dwarf Warriors. I mean, look at the stats. 47-48. Definitely going to be able to work down those Dowie. Oh, but White Lions getting knocked off by the Trollhammer torpedoes. They've gotten some pretty decent value, actually, despite their pretty beleaguered states. Gotten some pretty nice damage. Eltharian's alive. They're shooting at the Fireborn. Fireborn can definitely do to just collapse here, which does indeed happen. Twist doing a nice job there. Rahagar's Pride coming in hot and heavy. Probably going to be dropping their Mighty Roar ability. Star Metal Plate. What the hell has that? Oh, that's an ability that the Dowie Lord has, I believe. Yeah, an item. Wow. Okay, -8 melee attack. That's a pretty nasty debuff blob, then. Wow, -18 melee attack for everything in here. Oh, wow, that's nasty, dude. Never actually seen that, so pretty cool stuff. Although the leadership is not higher than 50% right now, so Star Metal is not being activated, which is very unfortunate. Should be online again now at 50 leadership. Just fluctuating a lot for that Dwarf Lord. Cannon crew just managed to be saved yet again by these Slayers, who are pushing off more War Lions. But the War Lions are getting some decent value. They're certainly not just feeding or anything. The White Lions are doing a lot worse for wear than the more mobile High Elf units, but they're getting into some good positions now. Collapsing onto the Long Drongs. They're going after the Trollhammer torpedoes. But, man, Revan's been really on point with microing these guys around, doing a good job of keeping them online as long as he has. And the High Elves are getting a little stretched out now. Dragonback Slayers, these Slayers, oh my god, more Trollhammer torpedoes coming out. Direct fire coming in here. Or no, sorry, they're shooting over the heads of these guys. Shooting at the Fireborn, okay. Getting some good damage. Oh, no. Oh. Ow. A little laggy, but we still love that. I think they just took out like 13 models of the Fireborn, which is just filthy. Really good stuff from that cannon, but they do get shut down now. Rahagar's Pride being very annoying in the backfield here. Gonna be going on to the Goblobber crew. Oh, shoot. Looking scary. Looking scary. And the Puremain Company back here fighting with the War Lions. War Lions are on their way out, but they're, you know, they've given the Puremain Company time to get in. They're going to be doing pretty nice, although they are getting nailed by the Goblobber. Wow, that's Dwarven precision for you. I mean, their actual crew is being attacked by these War Lions, which are running away now. And in the middle of all of that chaos, they're still able to perfectly drop their artillery shots between two of their own units and onto these elite elves. Beautiful stuff. These Dowie, they're relentless, man. So, Kanan offline for good, probably. But the War Lions not getting away with it for free, taking huge damage from Thunderers out here. The Trollhammer torpedoes pounding away at them as well, getting some good work done there. These War Lions also pretty low, but we've got not a lot of Trollhammer torpedoes left. They've all been shut down for the most part, except for the one that's really deep set back here. And Dowie really just have their blob here. Their Longdrawn Slayer pirates and the Dowie Lord and the Dragon Slayer and whatnot. Eltharion not getting many opportunities to get impact against those guys. You know, Grudge Goose doing a really good job of staying tight with these units. And holding off the pressure back here is going to give the Dowie tons of time and opportunity to value trade, man. They're doing a pretty good job of it so far. Up on the Elves by about 1,300 value. We'll see how long that holds. It is definitely within a margin of error. You know, Eltharion has been healing himself with Apotheosis, and definitely mitigating some of the damage that he's taken. Storm Riders coming out. They're getting some shots in on the Longdrawns here. And Longdrawns getting some point-blank fire on Eltharion. But it looks like they might be hitting the Spearmen more than they're hitting him. I mean, they are trying to shoot him. There we go. Now they've gotten some good volleys there. About 500 damage on him. But they're probably going to get massacred by the Storm Riders here. And Storm Riders, you know, they're not going to fight the characters great, but they're going to hold a long time. But High Elves really need to start capping some objectives. They have done pretty well trading. Certainly doing all right in that regard. We've got some Tattered War Lions back here, Rahagir's Pride, and a regular variant. Trying to get away now. More Slayer Pirates coming out, more Iron Drake. Oh, these Iron Drakes have been around for a bit, but, you know, they're moving up finally. Trying to get some shots here. And capping this middle objective now is going to be pretty important because the Puremain Company... They did beat both of those Dowie warriors, as I expected, but they have been getting nailed by the Goblobber here, which is just continuing to pick off models and fire these rune-infused stones here. Doing good work, man. Probably going to be able to beat these guys with the Dragonback Slayers, who are definitely going to be able to lock this objective down. They haven't gotten a lot of work done yet, but they've done a good job of buffering out the War Lion pressure into the backfield. Longbeard's probably going to be moving up there as well. And, you know, the High Elves are in a tricky spot. They really can't leave this objective because there's so much SE cap weight for the Dwarves here. You know, you've got some Tattered Dwarf Warriors and the last of the Longdrawn Pirates. That need to be dealt with. It's going to be a little tricky to do. You know, I mean, that's a big debuff blob there. Nice, nice, nice cast. Man, that is so consistent, too. I mean, Eltharion was 1,700 value. That Soul Quench has been putting in work on the Trollhammer torpedoes this whole game. Oh, Sisters of Avalorn pushing up onto this objective. Wow, I didn't see them creeping up through the forest there, but they're going to do some amazing damage to the Dragonback Slayers here, who are going to get massacred by those missiles, honestly. And look at the Puremain Company, man. 700 health, 17 models, and they still have 19 leadership here. They are about to break Caster's curse, I guess. You know, they're breaking now at the final hour of their triumph. Dragonback Slayers probably going to be going down. Oh my god, man. Oh, friendly fire, man. You got to call off that fire support. The Goblobbers just massacred some of those Dragonback Slayers for sure.
All is chaos.
Nice Sisters volley coming in here. Going to get some good damage on these guys. They're very accurate. Very high arcing shots here. But nevertheless, getting right in and getting some good work done. Killing a few of their brethren, but I guess, you know, if the Aesir end up winning this battle, I don't think too many questions are going to be asked. So where is Eltharion going to go? You know, he's out here in the middle of the battlefield looking for some opportunities, but not finding a ton right now. Fireborn are doing nice work. You know, they've taken some casualties for sure. They've got about 30 models left, a little bit less than half their HP. Not super sold on sending them in here because they're not going to be good against the SE blob. But pulling them away from the Slayers is a good call. Probably just getting them out and going down here to support the number 3 push is going to be a good call. You really do need to get a double cap now. If you can get that going, then you're going to start getting in a much more solid position than you have been up to this point. Oh, an Arcane Phoenix. I thought this was a Flamespire Phoenix, but much more elite SE coming in from Twist. Oh, that's going to be scary because the... I don't know. I'm just, I'm worried for the, cap weight that the, Dowie have out on the field against the High Elves. The, Elves don't have a lot of infantry on the field, and this is kind of what happened to, Twist in that first game. Got down a little bit, and, really just did not have a way to get enough infantry out on the field to, start to take over this game, and, you got some Spearmen fighting the Slayers here, but not before they do a lot of damage to the Sisters of Avalorn, man. Oh my god, and the Goblobber. Oh, huge damage. Wow, dude. Dragonback Slayers losing those fights, but giving time for the Goblobber to just get 1600 value. Easy peasy. No redos on this one for sure, man. Fireborn, a little locked in place on these Longbeards. Should just stay there and just continue to fight and stop the cap weight from getting up here. These Spearmen should do well enough against the Dragonback Slayers, but Longbeards are going to be a lot more difficult for Spearmen to deal with. You could get the Lions and the Fireborn in here with the Phoenix and definitely kill these guys. And Dowie are going to have to respond to you capping their back objective here. Come on, Sisters, y'all got to rally back here. Looks like they're going to rally. They've got a decent amount of ammo. They can get in there and do some good damage even with 27 models. They're going to have to, man. They're really going to have to. You know, there's a lot of Dwarf Warriors moving up on the number 3, and Fireborn and the White Lions will definitely do some good work, but they're not going to be able to hold off all of these units. Middle objective is really looking quite grim for the forces of the High Elves. This game is really even on value. You know, the High Elves are doing nicely for themselves. They're probably, with the healing on Eltharion, probably a little closer than it's showing. They're probably down by maybe like 800 value would be my estimate. You know, Apotheosis is actually a really nice, solid amount of healing. 8% every time you cast it, so that can rack up quick, and it's really cheap. Soul Quench, Eltharion's done some really good damage with that. Where's he going to go? Probably could just land with the Arcane Phoenix to trap up these Dwarf Warriors. Looks like that Arcane Phoenix ability is getting popped here. Calling it off, though. Really good Soul Quench yet again. Oh, but taking a fat volley from these Slayer Pirates, man. Woo, that's pretty gross. Down to about 1700 HP, flying away from the fire. Really good micro from Twist. How is Twist going to handle this, man? That Hero Core has just been bullying the Elves all game so far, man. We got the Lord and the Dragon Slayer and Felix just grinding in there. Very healthy still. Should probably get these White Lions to go after the Slayer Pirates. Definitely can deal with them capably. Sisters of Avalorn definitely getting some good volleys in here. Getting a little bit of damage. Roasting your own guys with the Arcane Phoenix, though. A little bit feels bad. And, I don't know. Dowie Warriors looking real nice. They're definitely going to cap this objective back from the High Elves. Once that double cap is in, I don't know if the High Elves have the juice here on the middle to be able to take this. There is a very healthy Longbeard here, and oh my god, 3 Slayer Pirates getting these melee attack debuffs in here with the Storm. Oh my god, I mean, 20 melee attack on White Lions, 4 melee attack on Spearmen. Gross. Really gross. I mean, Revan playing the Dowie really nicely here. I tip my hat for sure, man. That's great stuff. Fireborn and the War Lions looking to get some damage here. Gotta go shut down these Iron Drakes. More Iron Drakes coming out. They've gotten solid value. Oh, and a cannon. Cannon is going to kill the last of the Fireborn here for sure. All they need is one good volley. going to be curtains for those guys. They might not even make it because the Iron Drake torpedoes just absolutely nailing them, man, on the way in. They just can't even get close. And that's going to be a big GG for the Fireborn. Really did not pay for themselves either, unfortunately. They can certainly do work in this matchup because they're AP, but man, oh man, does it really suck to see them get hit that hard by all those Iron Drakes. They do actually just barely manage to get in here. I'm kind of surprised. They're going to do some good work against this unit, and the War Lions getting through the Longbeards, who were not braced, and right on top of the Iron Drakes. Kind of a losing fight for the White Lions of Trace, though. Those War Lions really don't want to stick around and be surrounded by all these entities. They'll certainly do some good damage, but I don't think they're going to be able to grind through that. But they do kill this Iron Drake here, and maybe the Fireborn are going to be able to get another charge off. Maybe they can break the leadership of these Dwarf Warriors and help these War Lions out. But Eltharion and the Phoenix not quite able to keep the Spearmen from losing this objective. There's just too many Longbeards and Dowie Warriors there. I mean, it's just a pretty overwhelming amount, honestly. We're going to have to see what the High Elves are going to be able to do here in the late game, because it's about triple cap territory. They've got to take some objectives, and I don't know if they're going to be able to even swing the middle with the Dowie Blob just debuffing everything into oblivion right now. One Long Drawn Slayer Pirate still in here applying the Dwarf Rum, completely just unbothered and moisturized and in his lane here. Happily fighting against the White Lions here, who are now getting completely sandwiched by Dowie Warriors. That's going to be good night for these High Elves here. They just aren't able to find any success elsewhere on the battlefield, and Eltharion is routing now. Oh my goodness. I think this might be GG for the High Elves. Eltharion routing. Arcane Phoenix not going to be able to impact the battlefield in this late game enough to be able to swing this. And I do love this inclusion, but I think it might be a little bit superfluous at the end of the day. It's got decent stats, but not enough to go after the heroes. And I think you'd probably be better served bringing some... I think if you want to do something that's going to be really good against the Dowie here, bringing a Swordmasters of Hoeth unit out onto the field, you know. Those dual-handed swords, man, they've got really great stats, and they're amazing anti-infantry units. Much better as pure anti-infantry than the White Lions are. White Lions are a little more generalist. They certainly do well against armored infantry, but if you want to clear something quick, bringing the Swordmasters is a little bit better. But it's kind of hard to say. This build would have done really well against the Swordmasters with the Goblobber, with the Iron Drakes everywhere, and despite the good melee stats, you know, these debuffs that are coming in here from this Dowie Blob is pretty horrific for the High Elves. Is that... Dude, this Slayer Pirate is still in here. Still providing the Dwarf Rum debuff. And Dowie, absolute stranglehold on these objectives here. High Elves desperately trying to flip, but they just don't quite have it. They don't have enough cap weight to capture this in time. It's going to be a really well-played game by Twist, but ultimately going to go against him in favor of the Dowie. Not having the tools to deal with the Goose Goon squad, so to speak. Definitely counteracting the really solid micro elsewhere on the battlefield. You know, Twist did a really good job of shutting down a lot of the range pressure early, but here in the late game, just lining up all these Iron Drakes and other ranged units, and the Goblobber and the cannon just firing away happily. Gonna continue to rack up nice value, man. 1,800 on that Goblobber. just got resummoned too. Already just absolutely nailing the Illyrian Reavers. Getting a little bit of damage on the Pure Main Company, I think there.
Is yours.
Great stuff. Love to see some clean Dowie play. They've been struggling a little bit. But coming in here and showing their chops and not really bringing some of the more meta options. No gyros, no bolt throwers, and making great use out of the Iron Drake torpedoes. You know, they didn't all pay for themselves, but they certainly provided a threat overload that the High Elves really had to focus in on to shut down. And it helped the rest of the Dowie army get some pretty good value. The Dwarf Warriors performed very nicely here. Long John Slayer Pirates with 1100 value, and they were a lot. One guy is left to continue the tradition of chicanery that they bring to the table, man. So Revan's going to walk out of here with the tourney win. GG's well played to him. And Twist, you're right there. You're so close. You'll get it next time for sure. And I think maybe with a, I really do think that one Swordmaster would be really nice to mix in here. Sisters of Avalorn are, you know, they're not bad here, but they do get outranged or out-traded by a lot of missiles. So it's probably pretty hard for them to trade well. They also don't have a shield, and they're pretty low armor, so it's worth noting there. But those are probably the only two things that I would consider changing out. The War Lions were great. You micro them around really well and did some great work with them. So I really don't have anything else to say there in regards to that. Revan just did a really good job of keeping alive enough of these missile pieces to really pressure down the elf formation. Goblobber was the MVP. By far, 160 kills, wrecked the Pure Main Company, did a lot of damage to a lot of other units, and just was a nuisance. 1800 value, man. It's beautiful stuff from a very expensive artillery piece. You know, it's about 1,000 in terms of cost, I believe. Maybe even more. Let's actually take a look. I'll back out of here. I just want to see how much the Goblobber is. What's going on here? Huh? Okay, there we go. Dowie, dowie, dowie. Huh. Okay. That's only 900. I thought it was 1,000. But doubling up value on your artillery piece is pretty great. 200 gold premium for that ROR when it has a discourage effect of 16. Plus the passive artillery discourage. That's amazing value right there. Alright, guys. We've got 1 hour. We're going to see how many of these replays we can get through. Let's do it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Gildaric and Twist. I was told this game was a really good one. So we'll go in, we'll jump in, and see what each of these guys can pull off here on Proving Grounds. You know, another really good map. And definitely going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. We got triple Chameleon Skink. We've got... damn, this is very similar to the Lizardman build that Twist went up against in the semis. But Firecaster here instead of Mazdamundi. Curious to see how the Firecaster is going to do. I mean, I'm a... Oh, wait, no, this is Shadows. Shadowslan, what? Okay. Thought it was the Firecaster for some reason. I don't know. So, Shadowcaster, actually, Silverin Guard, Archers, 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 more Silverins. Wow, Max Silverin Guard here? Okay. That's cool. And, oh, the Elves are the ones with the Fire Mage. Okay. And, who's the Lord? Tyrion on foot, maybe? Tyrion, no, on the horse. So Tyrion gonna be going all across the battlefield, fighting around the world against any and all opponents. Man, man, oh man. Definitely has a lot of fun targets to fight. You know, he can go up against Kroxigors really well. He can hunt down the Slann Priest. Can fight the Sauruses with spears pretty effectively too. And does he have the item? Come on. Where are you? There you are. Does have Sunfang. Sunfang's going to be really good against skink cohorts and chameleon skinks. It's a very powerful item. So you love to see it. It's also got unlimited charges. All he has to do is wait for that cooldown. It's on 120 seconds, which is quite a while, but over the course of a long game, you can probably get 8 or 9 casts of that out. Which is, you know, really good stuff. If you get, like, you know, maybe 100 value, 120 value off of each of these skink units over each cast, it's about 1,000 value from all those Sunfangs that you could potentially cast. What a great Flamestorm. Really good cast of it there, hitting the chameleons and the skink cohort, but it does rotate away from the core of these units here. Kind of going out here into no man's land. Would have been really nice if it kind of rotated this way instead. But you can't have everything, right? Tyrion's following up the Flamestorm pretty decently by getting after the Slann Mage Priest. He is pretty deep into this formation right now, though. But Faint and Right Post active, giving him some extra good stats. And he's just going to be holding here, man. Twist just getting some great value. And oh, there you go. That's a Sunfang and a half. Nailing 2 Chameleon Skinks and breaking both of them. Peeling all of the support for those Kroxigors who are getting focused down now by... Oh, the Talented Tortolita are here, too. Getting some good damage on the Kroxigors. Kroxigors, though, they're probably looking to get into the backfield here. These skink cohort and the Kroxigors definitely need to get back here and start shutting down some of the archers, and we'll see if they can pull it off. Flaming Sword of Ruin! What a good cast! That's going to give a huge power spike to Talons. You know, they imbue flammable. The Kindle Flame is active on these guys. Minus 40% fire resistance, and the buffs coming in here, man, that's great. Oh, and the Fireborn following it up too. Wow. Synergistic right there. Good Blood Statuette of Spite from Gil. Doing some good damage to the Fireborn. And good job microing around the Slann Mage Priest. Bringing up the Pakopok Cohort here. If I say cohort one more time, I swear to God, but the Pakopok Cohort coming in and surrounding Tyrion, they're going to do a little bit of work against him for sure. They've got pretty good stats. They've got really good bonus versus large and AP, so they're going to work him down a little bit here. He does have Heart of Avalorn, so he is pretty safe. Oh my God. Great Flamestorm cast coming in here too. Gonna nail all of these skinks, all of the Slans, or not the Slann, but the Saurus. Wow. The Flamestorms from the Fire Priest, man, 162 kills and getting some good value there, man, up to 1,000 already. Great stuff. I don't know if that's the Overcast version or not. Wish it would tell you, but there's not really any way to check, unfortunately. Didn't last that long, so I don't think it was the Overcast variant. Overcasted Flamestorm has 54 seconds of duration, which is pretty crazy, honestly. But despite being up in value, Twist is not finding a lot of success getting onto the middle objective. The Lizardmen are proving to be quite resilient here. But there are a lot of archers online still. The fire power for the elves is very healthy. The Fireborn are quite low, though. They've gotten beat up pretty badly. Just being swamped in units. You can see quite a few of them are dead here. They were definitely fighting these Kroxigors who were moving over. Kroxigors and some Saurus and Skinks. You know, that's more than enough to drag these very elite cav down. These guys are a great unit. But they are very reliant on trading upwards into stuff. They do not trade down well. They're just so expensive. So they've been beat up, and they've really fed quite a bit of value to the forces of the Lizardmen here. Great banishment cast. Getting a lot of work done on those Phoenix Guard, but, you know, as I've been seeing with these Vortexes, getting some unfortunate rotations on quite a few of them. And really hurting those Sora Spears quite badly there. Man, look at the Slan Mage Priest value though. 2,800, casting Melkoths and Pit of Shades. Melkoth's also probably doing a lot of damage to the Fireborn. I'm willing to bet that Melkoth's is one of the prime culprits against those guys. Colossadon Hunters coming in here, and I'm not loving that summon in. They're very squishy to missiles, and there's a lot of archers on the field, so, you know, maybe a little bit of an anachronistic unit to bring in, considering the situation. You've got the mobility advantage as the Lizardmen here, actually. The forces of the High Elves are pretty immobile. They've got some War Lions, and that's about it. Eltharion and Tyrion, not Eltharion. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just archers, and archers can be killed off pretty easily if you get into melee combat on them, so maybe bringing in more mobility that isn't these, you know, very expensive Colossadon Hunters would have been a better call, because they've only got 89 value right now, which is certainly not going to be it. A Pit of Shades coming in here, not hitting much, though. Just some Silver and Guard and some War Lions is a very expensive spell. Probably, I know you don't want to use it on archers, but killing these guys when they've got 4 volleys left and removing some cap weight too, and preventing your opponent from getting any rebate on them would be pretty big. So I would have loved to see it here. Would have killed the whole unit too. Another Flamestorm coming in, not getting a great rotation. Magic being a little hit and miss in this game, but Tyrion is not. Tyrion has just been a heat-seeking missile this whole game. He's fighting everybody, man. He really is like Russell Crowe right now. Fighting dinosaurs aplenty. Pushing through, getting after the Slan Mage Priest. Slan is up to 3,200 value. He's been doing nice work. I don't know if it's going to be enough to carry this game, though. Oh, when this Slan goes down, it's going to be real ugly for the Lizardmen. But the Colossadon Hunters coming in, missing the charge pretty badly there, though. Tyrion kind of squeaking away there, fortunately for him, but is going to be getting hit now by these Colossadon Hunters. They have popped Toad Rage, so they got that huge weapon strength now. Big bonus versus large, doing a lot of damage. War Lions trying to help Tyrion out, trying desperately to get this Shadowcaster. If you can get the Lord, the leadership for the Lizards here is going to start getting really ugly. But Lizards still controlling 2 objectives. They did lose the middle there for a minute. And they're starting to lose it here again. Oh man, that Flamestorm wrecking the Skink cohort. 247 kills on the Firecaster, man. Look at this guy. Gotta be feeling pretty good about himself now. It's a very bright, glowing orb. Pretty cool staff, honestly. Let's get over here and see what's happening. Ooh, we got the Umbral type. No, just a regular Salamander hunting pack hitting Tyrion. But Tyrion, man, absolutely undaunted, getting right on top of these guys. He's going to start picking models out of this unit pretty fast, so Lizardman definitely needs something to answer him. Another really good Sunfang. Haven't been seeing a ton of them, but getting a little bit of damage on those Saurus spears. And, yeah, Salamanders going to be looking to pull through those spears. Wow, good micro from Twist there. Gonna keep going after the Shadow Slan. Man, it's pretty relentless. Nah, okay. Doesn't look like Tyrion's gonna be doing that. Probably gonna just go after the hunting pack here. Number 3 pretty secure for the Lizards. Number 1 is secured by the High Elves here. What happened to this Saurus spear unit? They had to have gotten hit by a Pit of Shades from the Slan here, so... Slan is kind of offline, though, and without the magic, I don't know if the Lizards are going to be able to do it. They've been struggling getting value elsewhere on the battlefield. Skinks have been getting roasted by the Flamestorms pretty badly, and just very consistent damage from that spell, man. Wrecking the Saurus infantry, too, man. It's pretty perfect for countering Sauruses. It's got some AP and, you know, just good damage over time. They're only 60 armor, so even the non-AP damage is going through to some degree. And it's been doing some good work, man. 1,500, certainly not equal to the Slan, but, you know, Slan are, you know, I don't even know how old they are. They're thousands of years old. They're the pinnacle of casters in Warhammer Fantasy in a lot of ways. Excuse me, guys. But High Elves haven't heard any bell. They're still trying to get back in this game. We've got some Illyrian Reavers losing to the Cold One Spear Riders here. But Lothern Seaguard providing a little bit of counterfire here. They're just down in points, but they've got the value advantage. They're going to be able to grind back into this game, probably. Despite not having all that much here, they are kind of capping this objective. You know, just the Saurus have taken quite a while to get here. But now that they're here, they are flipping the hold. Chameleon Skinks are going to do pretty nicely here. It's their second time around, and they did pay for themselves that first go-around. So, going to get some good damage on the Lotherns here, who aren't shielded. Probably going to get some good fire on Rahager's Pride as well. They'll do good against Silverins if they can get side shots. And Salamanders, man. Wow, like super up-vetted Salamanders, too. Interesting. I've never seen someone give that many chevrons to Salamander Hunting Pack before. But they're trying to kill Tyrion, but Tyrion just doesn't care, man. He's healing capped. He's got 1,900 health left. He's going to just keep going in here over and over and over again. And getting on the rear of these Saurus Spears, and Mighty Roar being popped too. These guys' leadership is very fickle right now. They might break, and that would be pretty devastating for the Lizardmen. And, wow, High Elves actually get enough over here to cap. They have the triple cap in. They definitely needed it, too. Oh, my God. The Helm's Deep not working out for the Lizards, unfortunately. Just not enough. The Slan Mage all the way over here now, trying to provide some leadership, maybe. Wonder if he's got any casts of Melkoths or anything. That would be pretty nice right now. Oh, get him away. Don't let the War Lions get him. Saurus Spears. Wow, this match, dude. Both players showing off some really impressive micro, but Twist with maybe just a little bit cleaner summons. Managing to pull this game out. You know, the Colossadon Hunters were a colossal mistake, honestly. They really were not much of a game changer. They couldn't answer Tyrion at all, and they didn't really have anything else to fight. Fireborn got dealt with by other units and targets. I think you would have been better off summoning in a... what do you bring in instead of the Colossadon Hunters there? They're 1,500 gold. Maybe just Silverhelms, man. Silverhelms and some more Illyrian Reavers to hammer down the skinks that are coming out. Or what am I talking about? Oh my goodness. Colossadon Hunters. I'm talking about the Lizardmen here. Temple Guard. A Temple Guard would have been pretty nice. Although they still would be pretty vulnerable to the Flamestorms, so can't really do that. That's a tough one. I don't know. I'll have to go to the drawing board and take a look at what I think Lizardmen should bring out instead of the Colossadon Hunters. They just got hammered by the Archers and the Lotherns, and man, these Lotherns out here just hammering home against the skink cohorts. Silverend Guard, they're holding. They did hold off the Lizardmen from capping this objective for quite a while, but you know, Lizardmen are a little bit back in this. Maybe they've got one objective here. They're probably not going to hold that very long, though, unfortunately. And I don't think they're going to have enough time to outmuscle the High Elves here. Oh, man, Tyrion, if he had died, maybe some leadership problems come into play. But, you know, that high passive leadership for the High Elves is pretty nice. Is the, did the Slan die? No, Slan is hiding back here. Waver in 14 leadership, 325 health, 3,800 value. Tyrion with 2,900. Where is that Firecaster? 263 kills, 1,700 value. Man, oh man. Pretty cheap kit too. Just the Starwood Staff for the reserves. Flaming Sword of Ruin, Flamestorm, just not looking to get all of the reserves quickly. There is the Book of Hoth, which I believe gives recharge as well. Just satisfyingly increasing those reserves. Starwood Staff is so good, man. Elf mages are great casters. They're so strong. And yeah, it's looking grim out here. Lizardmen, unfortunately, not going to be able to swing it in time. And a huge dub there from the High Elves. Twist showing off every trick in the book to stay in that game and get a win over the Lizardmen, who do have a pretty even matchup with High Elves. Man, I don't know. What do you do as the Lizardmen? What do you bring here? Maybe more Kroxigors, honestly, because those guys were pretty tough. Maybe a Sacred Kroxigor would have been really good. They're a little cheaper than the Colossadon Hunters, and they perform or fill a very similar niche. You can cut the chevrons down on the Salamander Hunting Pack. Chevrons are good, but I don't think 8 chevrons are good enough. I just think it's a little bit questionable, because that's how much money. Let's go take a little peek here. Lizardmen. Where are they at? This chicanery Grudge Goose. He's done worse. I agree. The Slayer Pirates should definitely lose that Dwarf Rum debuff when they're under... I think maybe like 33% of their health would be a good threshold for it. I do think that they should keep it for quite a while, but I mean, it's just so silly to have one guy and they still provide the -10. It's so rough. Yeah, yeah. I hear you. Sally Pack ended up finally beating Tyrion. I like the Salamander Pack. They're a good choice there. I don't know if they need the chevrons, but I mean, I've probably played more Lizardmen than I. You might have a better idea of what that does for them. I mean, chevrons on ranged units is better than chevrons on melee units, because you get lowered, you get better accuracy, but you also lower the time between shots. And on units that have longer wind-up times on their volleys, you get even more impact from the chevrons. So if you've got something that's quick firing to begin with, it's not going to fire all that much faster, but you really see chevrons stack up on stuff like artillery and units that have like 13 or 14 seconds between volleys. You get a pretty huge reduction, so... I imagine that's kind of why you gave them all those chevrons there. Kind of curious to see what the stacked effect is. Oh no, but you... Can you see it here? You can't... I really wish they would show the chevrons effects here. You can see that it is increasing the missile strength. So it goes down to 11.3, and it's... what is it at base? 12 seconds? Really? Oh, 9.8 at max. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty substantial. At 8 chevrons where they're at, that's 10.1 as opposed to 12. You know, those few seconds can make a huge difference. So, I can see the wisdom in it. How much was it, again, for those chevrons? It's like an extra 300 gold. So... you could bring a Sacred Kroxigor, that's 150 less. If you cut the chevrons in the Salamander Hunting Pack. You can probably bring in a... you could probably afford to mix in like a Razordon, actually. Razordons are really underrated. They don't have great range, but they hit so hard. They're pretty devastating. And they have piercing attacks. Like, their attacks hit through units in a formation, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's just the Amexon Barbs, though. I don't know. But they've got pretty good spread. They're pretty accurate, and they can punish armor really hard. So they might be pretty good to counter High Elf Cavalry. You could mix in a regular Ripperdactyl, or maybe some horned ones. I actually think that maybe instead of bringing the Colossadon Hunters, you just up-vet into the horned ones. You bring regular Cold One Spear Riders instead of the Pok cohort. Horned ones are just so good, man. They got a lot of armor, they got a shield. They have much better melee attack than Cold One Spear Riders, too, so they can get really aggressive, riding down archers and elite, well, maybe not the Fireborn, but they can certainly do good work against Illyrian Reavers and Silverhelms, if you see them out on the field. Yeah, I mean, they've got enough melee defense to almost get past the they've got enough melee attack to almost get past the melee defense of the Fireborn, even with martial mastery here. Because it goes up to 52 and horned ones have 45 melee attack. That's really nice. They can definitely hammer and anvil really well, so maybe worth looking into those guys. Maybe bringing in a Rev Crystal would have been good. I don't know. Lizardmen are so versatile. It's kind of hard to go wrong with anything, but I don't know. Colossadon Hunters are just so squishy against range. So hard to keep them alive against elves. It just feels bad to trade down with them. But alright. Let's see. We've got... Alright, let's try and get 2 more in here. And then I will go do IRL stuff, I think. So just watch that. Let's watch Musaka and... oh, we just saw this one. Never mind. We're gonna back out here. We watched this one just a minute ago. I forgot. Blanked on it for a minute there. But yeah, this was a fun game. Seeing Grand Vomitus is pretty interesting. You know, Demons of Chaos are a fun faction. You don't see them played too often by people, but y'all should check them out. They can do some fun stuff, for sure. Right, let's go find another replay. Ooh, okay. Let's see what lizards can do against the old Slaanesh here. Oh wow, a Soul Grinder of Slaanesh. I want a Feral Dread Saurian out too. You know, Lizardmen don't have a bad matchup against Slaanesh. Of the factions that don't have tons of magic damage on their roster, Lizards probably perform a little bit better than most against Slaanesh. Fiends are still pretty difficult to deal with, but Saurus Spears have such good weapon strength that they can get through that low armor really nicely. I do like Chameleons in this matchup too, but they're difficult to protect, and you really gotta be careful with them. Yeah, buddy, and this Feral Dread Saurian's gonna be really nice too. We've got the Life Slann here with Shield of Thorns, Regrowth, and Earthblood, so a nice little spread. Oh, an Awakening of the Wood, hell yeah. Banishment ability, Blood Statue out of Spite is there, or of Quetzal.
We have a victory point.
Pretty expensive Mage Priest, but if you're going into a blob like this, it's pretty good. Furies, Hellstriders, probably going to be looking to get after the Chameleon Skinks. They have capped the objectives here, the number 1 and the number 2. So that is nice, but you gotta be careful. You know, you don't want your Chameleons getting chased down by Slaaneshi forces, because Slaanesh is so fast. 100 speed on just about everything that isn't infantry. can get real scary real quick. They are getting poisoned here, and they're taking a little fire, but if they get into... They're going to beat the brakes off of the Chameleon Skinks in melee, though. That's the problem that Chameleon Skinks run into, is they are just really weak in melee combat. They're incredibly squishy. They don't have a lot of health. They've only got 4,800 health on 90 models. So they can lose out pretty bad pretty quick. But Stelios does intercept pretty nicely with the Paco Pac cohort. It is nice having the Vanguard deployment option there. But man, look how much damage those Chameleon Skinks took from the Furies. Good grief, and those Furies got messed up pretty bad. But, you know, Pep does lose two very important mobile units, and the Dread Saurian in on infantry doing what it does best, absolutely mulching through those guys. Probably doesn't even need to run away from the Soul Grinder here. Could probably just turn around and fight this guy and do pretty nicely, but probably does want to support the Mage Priest. Azazel is a really good sniper character, and he is getting right on top of this dude. Gonna start doing some pretty nice damage. Does have Demon Blade also, giving a big boost. I mean, 625 weapon strength. It's pretty brutal. Hold us. Mage Priest wants to go fisticuffs against him. Oh my god, and Shield of Thorns. That's so slick. What a good call. Oh, and Temptator going down on Azazel. Everybody's trying to, you know, stop hitting yourself, bro. Stop hitting yourself the other. Azazel getting some good attacks in there, taking a little bit of damage in return from the melee reflection. So, not great, but the Demon Blade, man. That weapon strength, brutal stuff. So, Mage Priest healing himself up. Gotta get away from there, though. And Feral Dread Saurian killing off these Devoted Marauders, doing nice. Oh, man, 700 value, 900, 700 value and 119 kills. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Soul Grinder trying to fight the Feral Dread Saurian, but this is not a great fight for the Soul Grinder. It is very outclassed here. I mean, the freaking Feral Dread Saurian has almost double the HP that this guy does. It gets intercepted, doesn't quite manage to land the flying punch there. That nasty old claw, and is getting roasted by the Feral Dread Saurian, man. God, this thing is so awesome. Such a fun unit. It's definitely going to be getting some good heals. And the Chameleon Skinks intercepted by the Fiends here. So losing all of the skirmish very quickly are the Lizards, which is not great. Gotta keep the Sand Mage Priest alive here. And Colwyn Spear Riders getting killed here. Paco Pac cohort doing nicely for themselves. No, just stay here. Yeah, Stelios making the right call, going after these Hellstriders. Probably gonna lose this fight, but still do some nice work and maybe pay for themselves here. They are 1,300, and you know, Hellstriders are decently expensive. Getting good heals on the Sand Priest, but very healthy Azazel is very scary. Let's see what the Feral Dread Saurian can do. Are the Fiends going to end up being what carries the game for Slaanesh? They often are the carry unit. We've got very beat up Mirror Guard here. Lots of very unhealthy units for the forces of Slaanesh outside of the Fiends, but, you know, why can't we be Fiends, guys? You've got a Fiend in me. All the classic Slaaneshi hits here. Really good fire coming in from the Ancient Salamander. This is pretty much perfect positioning for this unit. So Stelios making great use out of that, but oh my god, losing the Lord, no! Oh, that's devastating. That's gonna remove the healing for the Feral Dread Saurian here. I don't know if Azazel is gonna be able to be killed here. Dead Sand Priest, if they turn around and fight this Feral Dread Saurian, they might be able to break leadership if Demon Blade gets up. Because this unit only has 60 base leadership. The Lord died recently, down to about 37. Does have a lot of HP, obviously. And Azazel does make a pretty good call here. Going after the Ancient Salamander is good decision-making. Doesn't want to fight the Sacred Kroxigor, though. Kroxigors, they're going to flatten the Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh here. This game is so close. Oh my god. Not quite triple cap for the Lizardmen. These Saurus spears getting countered by the Furies, actually. Getting wrecked by the Furies. Oh no. They did pay for themselves, though. So they were probably killed the Princes of Perfection there, is my guess. And just kind of holding that objective, forcing some response from Slaanesh. Almost capped it. So close. If they had capped that, Lizardmen would be in a much nicer position. But they're getting a little isolated now. This is the scary part of playing Slaanesh, you know. You might get good picks early, but if Slaanesh starts getting up on you and you start not having any mobility tools to deal with their units around the battlefield, they can triple cap you. They can kind of just pick and choose where they want to go and counteract your play. Hellstriders doing pretty decently here. Fiends doing decently here. Azazel trying to kill the Sally, but not quite able to manage it, and the Sacred Croxagor's coming for blood. Ancient Sally looking for some shots, and Azazel looking for some safety. 3,500 value on Azazel. Yikes. You just hear him pantsing and making disgusting noises. Oh my god. But man, you love to see it. Azazel is such a good lord. Very comparable to Valkia in terms of impact. Probably a little bit better than Valkia just because of the magic. And, you know, Slaanesh can support him a little bit better than Khorne can support Valkia. Valkia needs to just do too much for Khorne. As good as she is, she can kind of struggle just because of that. She's so good that you have to use her aggressively. And without heals, she can get in some pretty tricky situations pretty fast. But, I don't know, man. Feral Dread Saurian up to 3,100 value. Ancient Sally not doing too bad. And the Croxagor's hammering down those Fiends. Coming after this next unit here. If you lose all the Fiends for Pep, you're going to be looking pretty grim. There's a lot of cap weight for Lizardmen that can come out for pretty cheap pricing. You know, you've got Skink cohorts into the sunset, man. You know, they're full cap weight. They're pretty inexpensive at 375 now, I think. They did get a cost increase recently. I think that's about how much they are. And regardless, though, they're pretty nice. Oh, and the Slan Life Priest is back here. You gotta get something to protect this guy, though. I mean, Azazel's just gonna come back here and feast on his soul again, which is gonna really suck. Oh, and a Pavane. Oh, Narcissism, actually. So, silenced regardless, and there's no Slan in the chair. We have a ghostly spirit presence with us in the room, guys. That's pretty terrifying. I'm scared. Somebody help me. Someone hold me. Furies flying around. They're getting good rear charges, trying to get some value where they can, and helping lock down the side objective. 181 kills on these guys. Wow. And Hellstrider's doing pretty nicely here. Or are these Seekers? No, they're Hellstriders. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell at a glance because Seekers have like the exact same mount. Damn, all that shrieking is pretty grating on the eardrums for sure, but you know, good to see the enthusiasm is in full effect for these Slaaneshi forces here. Hellstriders, Azazel, and Fiends fighting Sacred Croxagors, who are in a dicey position. This is quite a bit of a threat overload, but they're getting some help from the Feral Dread Saurian. And they're going to do some good damage here regardless. Ooh, getting a nice Earthblood too. That's nice for them. Good cast from the Slan Mage Priest, but losing that early was pretty painful. Having said all that, though, we do have a very close game now. Slaanesh is definitely dropping farther behind than the Lizardmen are. Healing is back on the table. They've probably gotten some pretty good heals for sure. I have seen some regrowths and Earthbloods going down over the course of this game on stuff that wasn't just the Slan Priest. So, you know, Feral Dread Saurian getting some good heals. Some of the Sauruses and Skinks as well doing nicely for themselves with those heals on top of them. And Hellstriders and Slaanesh and all of these nasty demonic forces trying desperately to kill the Slan Priest here with Furies. They can do some good damage, but they're getting beat up by the spears there. And we've got Azazel fighting the Ancient Salamander, who's gotten some pretty good work done itself. About 800, definitely a target that needs to be dealt with. 4,400 on the Feral Dread Saurian. You love to see the Dino Mash coming in here. Gonna rear charge these Furies and probably completely crumble them out with the damage it does, as well as lowering the leadership and everything, and down go the Furies. We've got more Furies trying to get in here, trying to help out Azazel, but they're not great against SEs. They can do pretty nicely if they get full surrounds, but they're, the way they pile into combat can be a little bit chaotic. Like I said, the flying units are a little jank in this game at times, which is unfortunate. Would love to see some bit of an overhaul in that regard, but I do believe that the forces of the Lizardmen are going to secure this battle here. They just weren't, the Slaaneshi forces weren't able to kill the Feral Dread Saurian. The Soul Grinder, I mean, got the absolute hell beat out of it by the Dread Saurian here. Despite the Slain Priest going down early, cheap cap weight, and just persistence on the part of the Lizardmen. Locking down objectives, not giving Slaanesh any room to breathe and start to, you know, establish battlefield control is really good stuff. You know, it can get really scary when you lose your lord against Slaanesh, because they can just take advantage of low leadership so well. But, yeah, I mean, Stelios, man, you'll love to see it. Playing very capably here. I would guess that Azazel's probably going to die here. Fighting a little too much. He is on the verge of killing the Life Priest again, though. 4,500 value on this guy. What a champion. Outpacing the Feral Dread Saurian almost. That's kind of crazy, truth be told. And he's pretty cheap.
Victory point.
With this kit, he's, what, 2,200 gold? That's amazing. Just amazing. Azazel is amazing. Slaaneshi Lords are all pretty good. But this guy has been putting the game on his back. I just don't think he's going to be able to finish the carry here, unfortunately. Chaos Warriors getting mulched. And Fury's trying to get rid of more cohort, man. These skink cohorts. Stelios has been really good about just bringing these cohorts up to pressure these objectives. And still banking up resources to continue bringing out counter units. Paco Pac cohort, man. Doing pretty nicely. Just about paying for themselves both times I've seen them out. And Sacred Croxagores haven't paid for themselves, but holding nicely. And Azazel just continuing to hound down the poor Slan Mage Priest. What has he done to you, buddy? Calm down. Don't need to be so mean to him. He's just a little old chair. You don't need to be so aggressive with him.
No, the enemy has slain our lord.
Sad. Many such cases. It's kind of funny that this bug is still in the game. Maybe it got reintroduced. I haven't noticed it in a while, but that used to happen a while back.
I knew it. Unending.
When Warhammer 3 first came out with Immortal Empires. I thought they had fixed it though. But apparently not. That's good stuff, dude. You gotta love some of the CA silliness that goes on. I'd love to watch the Stelios and Forex game, and then I think we're gonna be done with this stream here. But I love the enthusiasm from all you guys. Thank you all for showing up and showing some support. GG's indeed. Gave them the chevrons for gold to spin. Biggest thing for them, and their leadership. Yeah, the leadership is pretty bad. The for those salamanders, the Umbral Tide has Stalk and is really awesome. Demons vs. Coast was a good game. I'll definitely do a cast of that one then. I'll check that out after I am done with my stuff later today. Maybe I'll put that one out tomorrow. But we're going to get in here and we're going to watch Stelios and Forex play this match out for our last one of the day. We've got the Tomb Kings. They've got old Cetra here on the horse, not on the kitty cat. When you leave the cat at home. Got Chosen of the Gods, got Skeleton Spears, we got more Shapti Great Bows. Pretty standard Tomb Kings build. Some Skeleton Horsemen, they're very nice. Not going to do too hot against Chameleon Skinks, but, you know, maybe before they get absolutely roasted, they can go and cap this number 1 up here. Oh, wow, we got Gorok on the field. Chameleon Stalkers, Saurus Spears. You know, Saurus Spears are just really nice. They're going to be really good in this matchup, too. Ancient Salamander and a Beast Priest. With Transformation of Kadan and Flock of Doom. Flock of Doom is great. You can just cast that all game
We
and
have
never,
a victory point.
never
it
feel
from the
bad
foe.
about it. And yeah, there you go. One good volley from these 2 Chameleon Skinks, man. Absolutely nailing those Horse Archers. Yeah, Horse Archers are great, but they're really squishy, and do not skirmish very capably against stuff that has really good missile resist, like these Skinks. They're getting poisoned, getting worked down, dying pretty horribly right now. I really hope that they can find some peace in the afterlife. The afterlife, you know. I mean, obviously they're already undead. How much more after can you get? I love that they're firing longbows. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. You know, you would think that they'd be firing like a recurve bow or something, but obviously not. Skeleton Horseman and Carrion getting on top of these Chameleon Skinks here, running them down, flattening the unit, not getting a lot of damage on them right now, though. Definitely going to have an opportunity to, but that's a really nice Flock of Doom. Overcast, nah, just a regular cast of it. Going to get some good work done on the Horseman and the Carrion there. How much value did you get out of that? Probably 100? Yeah, just about. Chameleon Skinks are probably going to go down here unless the Cold Wind Riders can get here in time. But I wouldn't imagine that they're going to be able to. They're just so caught up by all these spears. Or not spears, but the Horsemen and the Carrion. We do have some good work going in here from the Lizardmen elsewhere. They're positioning really nicely on the number 2 and the 1. They've got those objectives very square. Getting some counterfire on Chosen of the Gods, who are repositioning now. How are they doing value-wise? Not doing a whole lot yet, but about 253 value. Probably just been firing in here at the, what have they been shooting at? Maybe these Saurus Spears, maybe at Gorok. He's actually taking a little bit of damage. Ancient Sally shooting at the Tomb Guard. Very nice targeting. It can be kind of tricky to know when Tomb Guard are mixed in with regular spearmen and skeleton warriors, so paying a lot of attention. Stelios is getting some really nice value, 500 value on those guys already. But Tomb Kings do have some very powerful missile units of their own. They need to get out of the forest, though. If they get out and start lining up here, they can probably control the number 2 with their missiles, and also push any pressure off from this angle. And just run over the Lizardmen on the middle. You know, they've got some pretty good units here, but the Chosen of the Gods are excellent at killing infantry. Those airburst missiles that they've got, really good stuff. Definitely could use some targeting onto the Cold Wind Riders and the Spear Riders, who are getting on top of a lot of the Spearmen here. Tomb Guard just continuing to get worked down by the Salamander. Stelia is playing very well so far. Definitely, I would say, up a little bit. Not showing in the damage value, but crumbling a lot of units down. That's not something that shows up very well on the damage value bar. And, yeah, getting some nice Flocks of Doom here. Crumbling down more Skeleton Spears and pushing through onto the rest of the Tomb Guard here, who are desperately trying to fight off the Cold Wind Riders, but really nice Usurians, Incantation of Vengeance there. It's a more powerful Melkos, as if Melkos wasn't already powerful enough. You've got the Tomb Kings with like a free upgrade on it. You know, it's double duration, same amount of damage, same speed reduction, and it's only 3 gold more expensive. I mean, good lord. Absolutely wrecks those Coldwind Spear Riders. These Coldwinds, or sorry, just the regular Coldwind Riders. The Spear Riders are getting shot to death by the massive missile line. Sepulchral Stalkers, 2 of them out on the field. 2 Ushabti Greatbows, one of them, the RORs, wrecking the Lizardmen mobility. Foryx starting to really take over this game with the range pressure. Lizards were looking nice for a minute there, but they really don't have anything on the field that can compromise these missile units, which they really need to prioritize. And the Ancient Salamander, for as well as it's doing, really is not a unit that can put the game on its back. It's more a specialist piece for dealing with elite infantry, which it has done a good job of so far. It did kill 1 Tomb Guard by itself, basically. It is shooting at spears now. It's a bit of a waste. You could probably focus on this Tomb Guard here. That would have been a pretty good call, but, you know, it's a little bit hard to criticize, truthfully, right now. It's a very hectic fight. These games get so sweaty so fast, but, man, Lizards, they've got a lot of units on the field, but do they have the quality necessary? There's not a lot of buffering for a lot of the Tomb King's units. So if they can get on top of the Sepulchral Stalkers and just hound them down, they can definitely get in this game. Sepulchral Stalkers are abysmal in melee combat. Their selling point really is the lasers. The laser snakes are so good if they can get their like shots on target. Otherwise, they're a little haggard. Oh, and Temple Guard coming out on the field with some Coldwind Spear Riders. Now there is actually some units out here that can go threaten. And we've got some Kroxigors. They're going in on the Sepulchral Stalkers. Not the best fight for them, but they've got a lot of buffering, a lot of support here. While the Sepulchral Stalkers don't, and their leadership is just tanking horribly right now. Cetra not quite able to make it happen here. He's decent enough on horseback, but he doesn't have quite the same impact as the Cimmerian War Sphinx does. That Sphinx is so good at clearing out infantry, and that's what the Lizardmen are kind of bringing to the table and overwhelming the Tomb Kings with right now. You know, they were looking pretty bad for a second there when they lost the Coldwind Riders, and their other Coldwind Spear Rider took all that damage, but doing a nice job here of getting back and threatening a lot of the missile pieces. Killing 1 Sepulchral Stalker for sure. These guys are not long for this world. These guys are pretty haggard right now, but they can probably get maybe a Necrotect heal or something. I don't know if they're in the back pocket for the Tomb Kings here. If they are, though, they're a great target for that. They've got a decent number of models left. They can do some pretty good work. We got Nehekar Warriors coming out. They're decent here for sure. Very good at killing skinks, but they're going to struggle against Temple Guard. Temple Guard are just, you know, good armor. They've got pretty good stats. They probably do trade down into Nehekar Warriors, having said all that, though, but they are definitely going to win the combat at the end of the day. Kroxigor is doing nicely here, and that Sepulchral Stalker unit finally completely crumbled out. We'll see how the other ones can do. Good job of rallying back here with the core missile units now. Chosen of the Gods got some room, and these guys, they've been doing decently, but you know, maybe a little bit too much of an overload for the Tomb Kings to deal with. You know, they've got pretty poor cap weight, and the Lizardmen, man, just locking these objectives down. I mean, just absolutely shutting out the Tomb Kings, you know. I mean, they've got these missile units back here, but killing off all of the skeleton spears and Tomb Guard and everything have proven to be very punishing for them, because they just can't get settled into a position and get the best possible damage with their very expensive missiles here. You know, they've had to sacrifice 1 Sepulchral Stalker. They've got these guys back here, you know, who've done pretty decently for themselves, but, you know, they're 1,300 or 1,100 gold? 1,200 gold. The ROR is 1,350, so definitely have a lot of room before they pay for themselves. And yeah, we've got Kobolin Spear Riders getting into the backfield. They're going to trade reasonably well into these Skeleton Horsemen. They do miss the charge, though, so maybe not going to do quite as hot now. They're going to lose that combat regardless. Oh, nice turn and shoot from the Ushabti bows. Really nice, helping out their horsemen brethren. And it's now or never for the Tomb Kings. Their Nehekara warriors really haven't done too hot. But they're struggling, man. I mean, they're fighting Temple Guard. They're fighting Gorok. Gorok's been doing real nice for himself. You know, nothing crazy, but 114 kills and being very difficult to snipe out. Probably more important than anything for the Lizards here. And just the width of the army from the Lizardmen really coming into play here. 19 units left on the field. This Ancient Salamander doing good work. Still out here, still showing up and putting in some good damage onto the Skeleton Horse Archers. Chameleon Skinks getting a little bit of counterfire here. Doing good work. Man, oh man. Cetra still with the magic casts in the late game there, but really well played by the Stelios. Good stuff, Stelios. Good games. All of your games that I have casted today been really on point with the micro and doing pretty well. Unfortunately, I think Stelios had to... Did Stelios drop? Didn't Stelios play in the top 4? I think, I don't even remember. I just watched this whole tournament. I can't even remember, so... Tells you everything you need to know about me. Yeah, ran into Twist and did lose to Twist. That's right. Brought Mazda, and Mazda kind of got wrecked by the Storm Rider Lotherns, which was very unfortunate. So that just kind of goes to show you the parity in this game. All the factions can certainly play well against one another, and like I said, if you just have a good build, solid micro, you can make anything happen. It's all about execution in this game. So that's gonna be it for this one, though, guys. Testing on, I'll go check out that Coast game. GG's indeed, Aggie. And I'll see you guys later. You know, back from my vacation, I'll be making some videos over the course of the week. Maybe do an AOM stream. I've been playing a little bit of that, picking it back up after a long time of not playing, and enjoying the Norse a lot. They were my go-to back in the day. They're a little bit different now. They've got some new units, so I'm kind of excited to explore them. But yeah. Deuces, guys. Y'all take care of yourselves. Peace out.